WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Hi, Lieutenant. How are you doing? Aw, did you find your land nav point, Lieutenant? Good job, Lieutenant. You get a
Expert Action Badge.
put on your uniform right,
Expert Action Badge.
show up to work on time,
Expert Action Badge.
qualify on your weapon,
Expert Action Badge. Badge of Action.
find your guidon.
Expert Action Badge.
That's right. Just doing your normal warrior tasks and drills, you get a
Expert Action Badge.
Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
Please enjoy the show. Shots.
Shit in a bag, Pogue. Badge of Action. The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio. Action Badge.
This is a public service announcement from C.T. Fletcher. I will not contribute to the pussification of a nation. Get your punk ass out there and work for it, motherfucker.
Let's roll.
Good morning, Sergeant Major.
How do you know what kind of goddamn day it is?
Beautiful morning, Sergeant Major.
Are you a fucking weatherman now?
You're listening to Sergeant's Time on WTF Nation Radio.
Bronco. Man. Woo! What a week. Welcome to WTF Nation Radio's Sergeant's Time. With myself, Ice. And my gunner in the turret, Spanky.
That's me.
What's going on? Man, oh, what a week. I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. Broadcasting live from the Functional Veteran Center of Excellence this for April 2019. Oh, loaded. Oh, loaded. What in qualification? Oh, man. Here to give you all the non-commissioned officer development for active duty, National Guard, Reserve, retired, and, just anybody else who just wants to listen in to hear the active duty side of the house and hear what the Army has been doing if you are wearing the shield of 214. And a lot of individuals are like, just blah, 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 blah. Just real quick. I want to say hi to everybody in the chats. Say everybody. Oh yeah, look at that. We got the Twitter. So if you're listening to us, if you're following us on Twitter, Periscope, you guys just got us. So we just came up. I just got indications that we are running there. So listen to us on Twitter if you're following us there, or if you can go to WTFNationRadio.com and hit the little play button on the right, or go to ArmyWTFMoments.com. Go to the WTF Nation Radio tab and hit the play button. Bam, you're there too. Obviously in Mixer. If you're hanging out into his house and you want to listen to us on the Mixer app or Xbox Live, yes, on the Xbox Live. Every single Xbox Live has a Mixer app on it, so you can go ahead and listen to us there. And then, of course, on the Facebooks. Oh, lordy. On the Facebooks. This is having some problems with Facebook. For some reason now, they're changing up some stuff, so the way we broadcast now is kind of different. You guys have noticed that we are shared on U.S. Army WTF Moments. We're not, cross-posting or share posting or whatever trans-posting you want to talk about. Can we say that? Is it cool to say that? Because no one's going to get in trouble, right? I mean, we say that.
I think transposting is okay.
Okay, I just want to make sure because everybody's getting fucking butthurt about everything and anything nowadays when it comes to Army shit. And so I just want to talk about that. Yeah, so you're going to be able to see us only on the, WTF Nation Radio's Facebook, shared on U.S. Army WTF Moments. So, some greetings to everyone. And, shit. Well, damn it. Let's, this is, okay. There's going to be some controversy today. Talking about some issues about a soldier. Okay. This is going to touch on a lot of people's fucking insecurities as an NCO or what their belief systems are. But, again, we have to be objective in this. and look at both sides. So there was a soldier in the Army Times who was ordered to take off her hijab. Did you see that story, Spanky?
I did.
Yeah, she took off. She was ordered to take off her hijab, her hijab, however you want to say it. Don't mind me if I fuck up the pronunciation because I don't speak Arabic. I used to back in the day, but not much anymore. So hijab, and was ordered to take it off by the CSM because it would appear that her hair was not within regulation. Now, I just want to say this real quick. As you know, when you're a senior NCO and you're a senior leader and you are in charge of a formation, one of those things of, hey, at this point, no need to draw unnecessary fire when there is something like a bad fight. On imitate Forrest Gump here, my dad always said sometimes a good walk is better than a bad stand. It's better to take a good walk than a bad stand. And then the soldier was told to remove her hijab and fix her hair, which, to the Muslim faith, again, we have to play both sides on this. We have to hear both sides about it. Is a big no-no. Authorized for wear. You can't touch it, obviously, because it's a lot of symbolism, just like the Sikhs, just like the yarmulke. You know, there's different religious connotations to headgear and devices that you can wear on your head when you're practicing your faith. Hey, I just enforce a policy, man. I ain't throwing no because of this and because of that. That shit just happens. So what sucks is that individuals are taking the side of, well, she should have fixed her hair.
How do you know? That's
right. That's my point. My point being is that I have served with soldiers, female soldiers that have worn hijabs, and the way I see it, I look at it, I'm like, that's a soldier wearing a hijab. That's all I can say. You know what I mean? I don't sit there and say, let me look underside them shits and see if your hair's in a bum. I don't care at that point. You know what I mean? It's not my thing. I don't. At that point, you're authorized. You are according that soldier their specific religious practices by allowing to wear it. To tell them to take it off because you suspect something when it's 100% completely out of your lane. What if it's not? What if it's not religious accommodation? What if it was a sergeant major that saw, and this is just a hypothetical, a sergeant major that saw somebody that looked like they were wearing nipple rings?
Oh, you want me to take my shirt off now?
Right.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I'm going at. You know, oh, I think you're wearing piercings and unauthorized piercing. Well, how do you know? You looking at my tits or some shit? I mean, I'm not saying that I'm wearing.
No. I mean, but you're exactly right. Or belly button ring or anything else. Are you going to have me lift up my shirt now? Take off my bra to check?
Right. That's the point.
I can understand, because I'm not going to lie. There was once upon a time when I had my tongue pierced, and this was way before they even had a rule on it.
The regulation was not even I remember that.
All right. And they just, if you don't take that fucking tongue ring out, Sergeant Spanky, I'm like, all right.
Right.
I would take it out. Because I was pretty good at hiding it. And I specifically remember, at a promotion board at one time when I was at the board for staff sergeant, they asked me the rules on body piercings. And that was after they changed it. And I didn't wear mine during the day anymore because I'd had it for so long I didn't have to. I remember getting out of that board and my NCO was like, open your mouth. I opened it. He's like, I was about to choke the shit out of you if you had that tongue ring in.
Was he right to do that?
At that time, I didn't think anything of it because everybody knew my tongue was pierced. But I never wore it during the day anymore.
But what was it their right to do? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Think about the legality of this. Everyone's like, oh, you're doing taking up a side. No. I'm just looking at. Remember, now we're looking at the whole soldier concept. We're looking at all scenarios. As a leader, non-commissioned officer, you're in charge of formations, first sergeant, command sergeant major at the brigade, battalion, and division level. You kind of have to look at the whole thing. So before anybody else jumps on the CSM on other stuff, let's just look at what happened. So this was supposedly done at an equal opportunity event. Soldier out of Fort Carson. So I'm not going to get into the names and also the shit. I'm not all about. I'm just talking about the scenario up which to it's normally considered a sharp You know, that's like a Sharp thing. You know, you kind of don't like bring up them shits about when it comes to a Sharp event. Let's put it this way: if you're talking about Sharp and EO, and you as a senior leader decide to do anything that's near the realm of Sharp and EO, don't do it.
Right. I mean, even if she suspected, like, I would just look at it as like, well, how do you know? Like, again, like for instance, wearing, your beanie hat at PT in the winter. Like, I'm not gonna lie, my hair wasn't always in reg during that time because I gotta get all that shit up under the hat. And I mean, it's put up in a bun, but wasn't very neat.
But the point being, though, is that
Yeah.
when you're looking at a hijab, you're not supposed to be looking or pretend. See, that's the whole reason, according to the faith, is the reason why they're wearing the hijab, so nobody can suspect what's going on underneath, right?
Exactly.
Isn't that? I mean, that's the thing that we got told when we landed in Kuwait, before we went to Iraq, before we all the cultural awareness stuff that we get told that, right? That's the reason why the faith wears that, is so that way there's no thoughts of impurity. What you're thinking about underneath them hijabs. And he totally fucking just did that. Totally decided to say, I'm gonna go ahead and tell her to remove her hijab and fix her hair. Well, how does he know her hair is messed up?
Right, or just tell her that hey, your hair still has to be in standard underneath there. Roger that, Sergeant Major.
Or what happens if what happens if the hair is short? Like, what if she's wearing short hair? The Sergeant Major doesn't know that she had a short haircut. He just assumed that, she has long hair or whatever. At that point, you just look at this. You just take, come here for Sergeant. What's up? Is her hair short or something like that? It just looks like she's not wearing a hair in a bun. Or you just look at it like D-Max just said. You look at it and say, not my problem. It's at that point you can't do anything. It's almost like trying to. It was almost like it seemed like there was a skirting of the regulations to find out just a buster for something. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I mean, only reason why I could see like correcting it is if her hair was hanging out of it. And then again, hey, your hair is hanging out. You need to go fix it.
Right. That's the thing. If the thing is that the hair, like there's a long hair sticking out the bottom of it, or there's something like that, then of course naturally an on the spot correction. Not
go fix your hair.
Hey, your hair's hanging out on the side, and then that's it.
Like you would do with any female or soldier's hair that's out of regulation.
Just like a female sergeant will tell me, Sergeant Major, your fucking bootlace is hanging out. Oh, my bad. What are you doing looking at my feet? Are you looking at my socks? You know what I mean? I'm not getting mad about that. I don't care.
There's still no reason to have her remove it.
Correct. There is no reason at all to remove it. Yeah, go fix her hair, and that's it. Problem solved. That's it. It's done. Whatever.
Problem solved.
Problem solved. Yeah, that's easy shit. You know what I mean?
It wouldn't be a story in the Army fucking Times.
It wouldn't be the story in the Army Times. However, the soldier was reduced in rank.
That, I believe, is for unrelated to her hair.
As unrelated to her hair, where the coincidences can be kind of placed as the leader perception of leadership. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I think... All right. I think she... Obviously, there's some perception there. I do think that her getting reduced in rank would not even be a story if there wasn't, this sergeant major that told her to remove it, because soldiers get reduced in rank for inappropriate relationships all the time. I think what was said in the article, there's got to be more in that story for her getting reduced in rank. There's no way that would have flown just for what was said she got reduced in rank for in that story, which was an inappropriate relationship, but all that was said was she was seen giving someone a ride and they perceived an inappropriate relationship or something like that. I don't know. I call bullshit on that.
And a perception to me right there, unless you have Polaroids, pubic hair, DNA, shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
It's nothing but rumor mongering. I hate that crap. Fucking rumor mongering. Mind your business.
And again, I have never in 20 plus years have seen someone get reduced in rank unless there is irrefutable evidence, like not based on some rumor or not seeing two people in a car together. I'm talking like there is like even more than just some text message evidence. Like,
who cares? Who cares?
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Is
no, but that's what I'm saying. But I've never But I've never seen. But I'm saying, like, chains of command that go after soldiers for perceptions for something that's not there to drum up shit. To me, is what's facilitating the toxic leader. Look, at this point now, leaders are just going to have to evolve. They're going to have to evolve now. They're going to have to. Any leader who decides to fucking sit there and scrape a fucking a Facebook page to see who is friends with somebody, and then immediately start launching a witch hunt investigation over who that individual is friends with, especially if that's a soldier that's a female or a male, then you better be able to back it up by saying, I don't think it's authorized to have it. Now, look, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have friends on Facebook as a senior leader, but I'll tell you what, senior leaders are now starting to engage soldiers because, I don't know, almost looks like, doesn't it look like the leaders in between? You ever notice that? You notice that the company grade junior soldiers, and then there's like nothing in between. And then all of a sudden you'll get like a freaking colonel or a general engaging point to point.
I know, I think you're right, because I personally see it where, like, team leaders, sergeants, staff sergeants, they will not friend anybody, like on social media that's anywhere near their units and stuff or like that. And me personally, like, even when I've been in the unit, I've been like, connected on social media with my commanders, my brigade commanders, brigade sergeant majors, everything. Fuck it. They want to be friends with me. I don't give a shit. They're going to hear me bitching a lot.
Well, I mean, but
I don't say anything, then I wouldn't say do that.
I mean, come on, Spanx. We've been down on the line. We know this shit. We've seen that stuff. And I see you talking to a male soldier or a male NCO. Or I see you hanging out. I as your ops sergeant major in the 3 shop. I'm not going to sit there and say, Spanky, what are you doing? Spanky, how come this? Spanky, how come that? And then I start going over your personal Facebook thing, and then start, first off, troops, nation, lock your shit down.
Yeah.
Lock your shit down. It's easy stuff. But it's nowhere in my place, nor is it in any leader's place to start combing friends of your specific soldiers, and then wondering why your soldiers don't want to talk to you anymore, or you wonder why, because you're up in their shit. I mean, Facebook was provided for them too, just like Facebook is provided for you. And the majority of individuals that post crappy shit on Twitter are the ones that frag the soldiers in the main page for liking the main page or commenting on the main page. And I'm saying, are you for real? Are you really going to slam a soldier for liking something on Facebook? Okay, whatevs. That's on you, but then wonder why you have a toxic unit. Or why nobody wants to open up to you as a leader, or a commander, or first sergeant, senior leader. I don't do that shit, man. Just whatever. I see my soldiers that are friends on there. Now, once I am left the position of their first sergeanting, sergeant majoring, or something like that, or they've ETS'd or whatever, or something like that. Yeah, I don't mind friending them. I don't give a shit. Nothing wrong with that. It doesn't provide any undue familiarity or a perception of, because it just appears that, like I said, hey, I want to. Nothing wrong with, a soldier that wants to be friends on Facebook and show me, or she wants to show, hey, look what I've done, nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that at all. But when you as a leader are saying there's a perception of, when you have zero fucking proof because you're basically going off of rumor mongering, dude, that's like, oh man, there's been how many times I've almost gotten busted myself as a senior leader for wanting to throw hands on somebody who liked to talk shit.
That's okay. You know how many people I've slept with just based on rumors? So yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, my point, and that's why you got promoted, right? That's why you
right.
You were throwing the tacos out and everybody was fucking loving it. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's how you made it. Yeah. See, it's bullshit. So going back to the hijab. I know we kind of digressed on this, but going back to this, you got to think about that. You as a senior leader, and if anything else, if you see something that's out of place, that's on the spot, that's literally an on the spot correction.
Yeah, you fix that and move on with your day.
Right. You shouldn't tiptoe around the subject. You shouldn't tiptoe around the fact that she's wearing a hijab. Just like you're a soldier who's not wearing a hijab. It doesn't matter. If you see a soldier that's not dressed accordingly to or within compliance of AR 670-1 or the DA PAM 670-1, you make the correction and you move out and pop smoke. And then you don't drill down yourself as that leader when you have first sergeants, first lines, platoon sergeants. You kind of have like a filter. You got a filter. Hey, first sergeant, come here. Yeah, I just saw a special so and so. Yeah, hey, tell her to fix her hair because her hair's coming out of her hijab. That's it. Oh, roger that, First Sergeant. Thanks. Yeah. Oh, Sergeant Major. Yeah, whatever. I don't sit there and say remove the hijab.
Right. I need to inspect all of your hair. Like,
Yeah,
you obviously know that something's wrong. Hey, go fix your hair.
Yeah.
Specialist, go fix your hair.
Yeah, go fix your hair. And it's easy.
It's simple as that.
Yeah, simple. Hey, fix your hair. Oh no. Oh, and you know what? The soldier probably would have said, "Oh,
Roger that.
I got Roger that," or "I got a haircut." Oh, okay. It just looks like down. You would just say, "Oh, it just looks like from appearance that you have your hair down." That's cool. Oh, how does it look? You know, whatever. Or you know, I mean, you just begin your small talk and then you move out. I mean, on the spot correction is supposed to be made. It's supposed to be complied. It's enforced, and then it's over with. In a perception of whatever, unless she was got dead to rights on something, then of course, then obviously that's a different story, like you said. I think she got specific proof, but just on rumors and perceptions, to me, I don't buy a lot of that crap because nowadays, it ain't all about them shits. It ain't all about them shits. It is not about it. It's none of your fucking business. Oh, look, there's Spanky hanging out with so and so. Oh, and
okay.
Well, she's taking them to. They're going out to eat lunch, and no, but you don't understand. They're hanging out, and sorry, I made you though. But what? What are you trying to say? You trying to say they fucking or something? I mean, I've confronted, leaders like that or soldiers like that, my peers like that. What are you trying to say? Does you think they're fucking? Well, it kind of looks like that. Well, do you fucking know for a fact? Shut the fuck up, dude. It's none of your fucking business, man.
Right? I'm like, it's a pretty far jump from, eating lunch, fucking food court,
oh my God.
Pretty far fucking jump.
I have taken my soldiers out to eat at the food court, and this, the deal, and the S3 Sergeant goes out, and hey guys, let's go get some pizza, or let's go get something to eat. Are you buying something? Yeah, I'll buy. Oh, the next thing you know, everybody wants to join in the chow. Hey, as long as I have you as a captive audience, and it's only going to cost me buying you a burrito or something like that, then fine. You know what I mean? I'm more than willing to plunk down the loot, get some street tacos and shit to sit there and talk about the way ahead or what, to decompress, just to hang out or whatever. But Jesus Christ. So
no, we're fucking now.
Yeah. Yeah, the tacos. Oh man. All right. So now but it gets worse. It's going to get worse. Now the soldier is going to file and this is the one thing that I don't agree with. Here's the thing I don't how do I say this? Once you are done and once you're corrected and once you've been busted and you go through the appeals process for what you got busted for, does not mean that you turn around and file you don't sue the Army for religious accommodation or not allowing accommodation because it wasn't the subject on what she got sued for. It's almost like you are already mad that you got busted or you got told to take off your hijab. That's fucking wrong. Already straight off the bat. Sergeant Major should be counseled. What the fuck? Dude, what are you fucking doing? Blah, 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 blah. What are you trying to do? Blah, blah, blah. The same thing. On-the-spot correction to the Sergeant Major. You know what I mean? The same goes to the Sergeant Major. I've had my ass chewed out before. All ranks. Doesn't matter. From 1 to 9, I've had my ass chewed out. Didn't matter. And, sometimes I felt like I didn't fucking deserve it, but I just, roger that, swallowed my pride and said, see ya, roger that, 3 bags. So that's it. And then it was water under the bridge. I didn't hold a grudge and did whatever. Some of it coming from where the source was at, I didn't care. Some of it, when I thought was a mentor, then I said, was disappointed or hey, good job or whatever. I took it as that. Okay, so it doesn't matter. Once you get your ass chewed out about something like that, like an on-the-spot correction, you don't continue to add fuel to the fire now. And she says that she feels like she has a target on her back. Well, you went from doing what you were doing and talking about your complaint, which the commander did clear, the sergeant major, saying there was no intent, blah, blah, blah. Again, I don't know the details of it. I'm just only going off of what the Army Times have reported. And we're just providing our opinion on it. Because, some Army Times, they got the lead in the story or whatever, and we just listening up to it and no big deal. The second thing is that once you have been busted for one thing does not mean is like, what about that? Or what about this? Or how come this and how come that? And add to now a lawsuit saying that you were not provided religious accommodation. That's what
I mean, she was provided. I mean, the sergeant major fucked up, but she still, I mean, is allowed to wear her hijab. And like I said, Sergeant Major's fucked up. Sergeant Major got chewed out. I'm trying to figure out where she wasn't provided it. Like, she's still allowed to wear it. So I'm just trying to figure out the basis of her lawsuit. I mean, soldiers Sergeant Major fucked up by making her take it off. If she got an Article 15 that she didn't deserve, there's an appeals process for that, you know, go up to the next level, you know. Pretty sure even says it right there when you read it. You go to TDS.
Right, and you have every opportunity. Yeah, you have every opportunity
right.
that's accorded to you to do this. So it's not like it's a freaking, you know, you're accorded every right. So on that process, then all of a sudden it's almost like she got busted for one thing. Okay, she got corrected about the hijab, or was told it was a no-no, whatever. So the hijab thing, okay, that was one issue. The perception of a relationship, an improper relationship, is another issue. Well, then when you get busted and reduced, you don't go back to the first issue you got busted for, or you had the ass about, because it wasn't the hijab that got you busted. You know what I mean?
No. I think, but that's the one that, you know, got her in the Army Times, that, you know, gives her some notoriety that, okay, now I get some, you know, I got some, you know, stories in the news. Now maybe I can, you know, get a lawyer that will represent me, and, you know, 'cause it's not going to be an Army lawyer. So
No, not to do the lawsuit. Not to do, yeah, correct.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not to do the lawsuit, of course.
Right. So now that, you know, she's only making, you know, mafia pay.
Yeah, she's only making mafia pay.
Like some lawyer whispering her, some, you know, ambulance chaser type lawyer probably whispered in her ear. You know, that's what I'm thinking happened.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the whole crap of the now it's now looking like it is not a meant. In other words, it's just kind of funny that now on the side in defense of, because, you know, we're not commissioned officers, we're speaking openly about it, we're looking at both sides on that. To me, the way I see it, the hijab issue, the correction, and all that was, to me, over and done with. If the sergeant major was handled by the commander, then it's not an issue anymore, because then that means the commander has decided. You know, there's a lot of things that happen in the Army when it comes to decisions that if you don't fucking like it, it's too bad. You're just not going to have to. You're not going to win all the fights. That's what I go back to saying about sometimes it's good to take a good walk than a bad stand. Both for the soldier and the CSM. You know what I mean? If the CSM you know, looks at it and says, you know, like me, I would have saw that shit. I mean, I wouldn't care. I mean, all I see is hijab, face, uniform, in regs, wearing it, blah. That's it. I'm not gonna sit there and go, you know, it looks like her hair's down. First sergeant, go tell her to take her hijab off. I would never do that.
Right. And if someone told me to do that, no, Sergeant Major.
Right, you're just trying to say exactly that. You're just trying exactly, or I mean, of course, I would have my right hand. Hey, Sergeant Major, you realize what happens if you'll do this, right? It's gonna fucking, you know what I mean? So then that issue right there is up and done, and it's out. He should have exercised. Now, she, of course, once it went through its process, what did she want in the end? Did she want to frag the Sergeant Major? Did she want the Sergeant Major to go down for it? Did she want, you know what I mean? So if it wasn't a big deal, and it was a big deal. I mean, obviously, but was it equal that to what happened with to what was the Sergeant Major? If the commander had already come out and said that a Sergeant Major has already been counseled or discussed or blah 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 blah, then guess what? It's over. What more do you want the commander to do to the Sergeant Major? At that point, it's no big deal. It's already done. Now, then you get busted for something else, and all of a sudden you bring up other shit. You know what I mean? Because then the unit could start going. If you want to go back to the digging part, then the unit can go back, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I'm just saying this is one of the possibilities that could happen, is that the unit could go back and look at her performance.
You missed formation 6 months ago, and you did this.
Exactly that. Exactly. She missed formation 6 months ago. Oh, and she did not want to. Oh, she did not do this. She was a cook, I think. She did not make this. She always had this, and this. So you got to be careful. That, like I said, sometimes it's good to take a good walk than a bad stand.
You're red on MedPros.
You're non-deployable. Get the fuck out. Your family care plan's fucked up. Your dual military. or you know what I mean? You're put on the schedule like that. You're not taking all the cool things and little I don't want to say drug deals, but you know what? You got soldiers that fucking are hard hitters for you and that fucking kick ass and take names. And you know the ones you can depend on for a lot of stuff, and you see them busting their ass, and you got that one soldier that's not doing shit. I'll admit it. Has there been soldiers that I've been accorded a little bit different treatment because of that? Yeah, because I want them because we got one of them that's is just drawing a check from Uncle Sugar and just doesn't want to do shit, and you got another one that's busting his ass. You've seen that in the 3-Shot too.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and you know. They get paid by rank, not by how much they do.
Right. So is there going to be a little bit more, the leaning to? That's natural in leadership. You always have you always got your pipe hitters out there. Now, you got to be careful because now they can go back too. The commanders can go back and say, okay, well then since you decided to do that to us, we're going to do that to you. Now we're going to look at this. So
right, and it's not hard to find. I mean, it's not, and it's not really retaliation just by pulling up your record.
No, not at all.
It's not because they're going to have to if she's going to file suit. They're going to pull up everything just like you would in any kind of case that's coming up.
Yeah, it's one of those things that they don't realize sometimes that the ramification of the UCMJ could involve that too. Because then the UCMJ could go back and add more to what she got demoted for.
And I'd be curious if she even appealed it.
Right.
I don't know, but all that's not there. And I'm not there.
Yeah, it's not there. We're just talking. This is just a leadership dilemma for discussion because this is development without the essential oils. You want that? You want that? Tune in this. If you want that, tune in the Sunday show.
Rub coconut oil all over it.
Hi, it's time for essential oils time with Sergeant's time. No, it goes back to the leadership dilemma that you NCOs, sergeants, and leadership out there, squad leaders, team leaders, platoon sergeants, detachment sergeants, company first sergeants, battalion CSMs. Brigade CSMs, division CSMs, and I'm pretty sure that some levels that there was some stuff gone in between back and forth. So you can't really, you can't really go back and I'm not armchair quarterback. I'm just presenting the dilemma. That's more like it. Because what's really going to be the catalyst to all this is how far this lawsuit is going to go for religious accommodation.
I don't know. If I was a judge, I'd throw it out. I'm like, you're accommodated. What else do you want? I'm like, the SAR meter is already corrected.
Right. That's what I'm saying. The SAR meter. No, that's my point. And I'm sorry, you're a soldier. You're not going to get days off. I'm not going to give you time off to go do this court thingy. You got you know what I'm saying? You're not required. See, here's what people forget. You still have to pull your duty. You're not going to be afforded different treatment for a lawsuit. This is not a court martial. This is a lawsuit. So you're not going to be accorded lawsuit time as opposed to court martial time. If you had a soldier that's getting ready to go do a court martial, I could totally see you according that soldier time for a court martial.
I've been at Camp Atterbury in Indiana, for training, on my cell phone, because they let me do my court hearing. And this is just for nothing criminal. I'm not that bad of a girl, but, they let me do my court. This is, something between me and my ex-husband. They let me do my part over the phone. I'm in an LMTV on my cell phone at Camp Atterbury driving. Well, I wasn't the one driving, I was TC, doing my part over the phone because I was not getting out of going to Camp Atterbury for a court.
Well, something like that's also, but something like that's also a leadership discretion too. Like I know for a fact that you're going through a divorce and you're going through all this drama. Oh, what the fuck? You're gonna go do this, finish a court date, and then come back and redeploy. You know what I mean? Then go out to the field after you're done. You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
don't be a dick.
After we were divorced.
I understand, but I hate when leaders will sit there and it's it's funny. Well, we're talking about divorce and me, but
right.
I want to say
the expert.
I got the infinity glove, but anyway, I just need one more. Anyways, My point.
Snap is coming.
The snap is.
All divorces will be final like that.
In time, you'll know what it means to lose. Anyways, but if you're going through something like that as a leader, and I've told my peers before when they've had soldiers going on, they got divorced, thing like that, dude, let them go. This is a significant emotional event and a life event. This is not something like you fucking can just wave the fuck off and it's not be a big deal. This is a court thing. Divorce and court martials to me are kind of different because they're life altering for everybody: kids, wife, career, change of status. There's a lot of impact on that. So. The same thing with a court martial. You have to accord a soldier his opportunity to defend it. Now a lawsuit, though, straight up, that's on you. It's time for you to go. It's time for you to go work that short order grill in a minute. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. Over
well,
easy.
She's got an experience as a cook.
Right.
Sorry.
Right.
Maybe.
So I don't think that at that point it's almost worth a fight for her. She should have just taken the reduction to specialist, and then it'd have been it, and then moved out. Now, at this point, I would have considered it. Okay, she's done, she's all that, and then that's it. Change of base. Okay, there you go, and that's it. Just let it go. She could keep going, whatever. But you, as a soldier, are required to maintain your obligations as a soldier, not to become unprofessional and bust your face all over fucking the Army Times.
Oh, absolutely agree. I mean, like if it was me, I'm just trying to put myself in her position. Like if I got my ass chewed upside down and sideways and an Army Times reporter came to me, I would just be like, no comment. Even if it was something that if I thought I was wronged or anything else.
Right.
I mean, I understand, like, if, like, the housing situations and things like that, those are usually, families doing it. And if my spouse went to the Army Times or to a reporter and stuff like that, they're their own human adult person. And I'm not about to tell my spouse that they can't do anything,
Right.
So, but even as a soldier, I don't think I would do that, but I'm not going to, like I said, I just wouldn't do it personally. Doesn't matter what it is, because I don't think, I guess I've been blessed with enough leaders that they wouldn't let it get that far, no matter what it is.
Right, exactly. Steven has got a question asking that doesn't the cook have to wear a hairnet underneath the headgear? Underneath headgear must be worn, or a hairnet must be worn while you were cooking. You'll see a lot of individuals wear ball caps. That is another authorized head covering. So a hijab would also apply to the same thing as well, because it's covering the hair. Anything that's considered a hair covering. So as opposed to somebody wearing the goofy little hairnets or the little disposable ones that you see them wearing, that you can wear, you're authorized. I've seen cooks wear ball caps, and it's not an issue.
Right, I could see that. Her hair's not getting anybody's food if it's covered with the hijab. So
right, exactly, exactly that. No, it wouldn't be
a non-issue.
Yeah, so going back and forth to that, yeah, I can see your point. I see the point of regulation, but it's kind of redundant. That's like it's an over redundancy. Already, her hair is already covered. It's a double. Yeah, right. See, exactly. It's a double hair. It's a double hair cover. It's double hair cover.
Right. Like I said, her hair's not getting in my food. I don't care.
Right. And she's wearing them shits like that, and I don't see any hair hanging out. Then good. Didn't bother me any. But yeah, I don't think that she's not setting herself up for success by doing this lawsuit. That's just me.
And even if she was, don't think she's setting herself up for success by, going to the Army Times or to the press anyway. Like,
no, you kind of go to the Army Times. You're kind of like, that's like going to the TMZ of the Army.
Right? Like, even if she did think she had a case and wanted to file suit, she just keep quiet about it and do it,
Yeah.
Like, that's just my opinion. But, like, some cases need the publicity, like, when you're trying to change laws and stuff, and that will help you. Like, people that are trying to get the Ferris Doctrine changed, but in this case, I don't think it helps.
Right. Well, in this case, you're right. The Ferris Doctrine's different. It's not medical malpractice to remove a hijab. No matter how much it upsets somebody for me to
not
say
at all.
that.
Like I said, I don't think this is a case at all, and that's exactly why I don't think the press is going to help her at all.
Okay. I don't think though that. See, here's the thing. You're right. They do talk about the fact that there is there's a press stuff. You can't go to the press for fucking everything and all that. But you're only going to hear one side of it. You know what I mean? If you're going to be approached from the press, remember the press is only there to get your side of the story, and then they run with it. They'll probably get another piece of the story or something else of the story, but then that's it. They're going to write the story. So if there's anything you do or do not want to be told, consider everything on the record, and it's going to get posted. It's going to be written about. To get upset about it, then you're just kind of like fucking, wasting your time.
And also, if the press comes to you and you tell them, this whole paragraph worth of stuff, they're going to take, bits and pieces. And it might not sound like everything that you said, and if they only take a little clip, it might not come across exactly how you said it.
That's a good point, too. I'm pretty sure that these podcasts on WTF Nation Radio are going to be clipped together to say some crazy-ass shit when I'm in my deposition.
Me too.
Yeah, exactly.
I was fucking everybody. That's all you hear. And not all the context behind it.
And I said he was going to get tacos with a Thanos glove. Oh, man. Yeah, it's an interesting leadership dilemma. One of those things that you sergeants got to be careful. Leaders out there, you got to be careful about, because it can present some shit to you if you get this one wrong. I'm not saying that I'm just telling you my version of it. I'm not saying that anybody made a bad or made a good decision about it. I'm just saying how the look out of it now is, and then to the troop, filing a lawsuit against the Army, it ain't gonna work. Good luck.
Exactly. It's real easy for us to sit here and say what we would have done. And I mean, you guys have SGAs if you're really concerned.
Right. Exactly. So, anyways.
You have sharps, you have EOs.
Right.
Asks.
Yeah, ask. Yeah,
or
no
just
shit.
say fix your hair.
Yeah.
You're not
Fix
going
them
to get in trouble
shits.
for saying fix your hair. I promise.
What? Whoa. What was that? What Ari said? Unless the person from the person is an attractive single woman. Unless the person from the person is a what? What did you just say? What did you say, Ari? Ari, I don't understand what you said. Didn't understand what you said at all, man. What does that mean? Anyways. All right. So, at any rate. So, we're going to take a break. I want to see everybody, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed back for the second part of Sergeant's Time. I forgot to say hi to everybody in the chats again. What's up, Jack? What's up, D-Max? What's up, Jake? What's up, Bailey? What's up, Marshall? What's up? Oh, I'm speaking. Yeah, you're right there. Truth Army Recruiting. What's Ari? Oh, man. What's up, Michelle? Is that how you say it? Michelle, like Michelle? What's up, Holly? What's up, Terry? What's up, Bryce? What's up? Speak up. I've been speaking up. The hell? What's up, Stefan? In the Mixer chat with Doc Mortar and Road Tech. We have some swinger double swinging in the chats there. So we have people jumping back and forth from the Mixer chat and the Facebook live chat. So whatever. Yeah. So what did you mean by that? Friggin' what if unless that person from the person is an attractive single woman? What the hell are you talking about, dude? It was a typo. Don't judge. Well, I'm just saying. I'm reading what you say.
Not judging.
I'm not judging. Just saying. I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to decipher and use hieroglyphics understanding, and I got to get that Greek dude with his fucking hair to talk about aliens to understand what Sumerian fucking shit you just wrote in the chat.
He needs that Microsoft paperclip.
Yeah,
it looks like you were trying to speak English.
It looks like,
Would you like some help with that?
Yeah, instead you're coming off like Edgar from fucking Men in Black. Unless the person from the person is an attractive single woman. Means world summary.
Love you, Ari. We're fucking with you.
We're going to take a break right quick, and we'll be right back. Shots.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Take it from me, Ice. You can't just float around space not caring about stuff forever.
The voice of U.S. Army. WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Shit in the bag, Pogue.
Trade me like a kid for a living, like I'm cold with no heart, a brain with no thoughts, a body with no feeling, a life with no cause.
Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. I'm damned if I do, and damned if I don't. It's like every single time I say what's on my mind, they go for my throat, they spew evil words. A few are absurd, always grinding, grinning, and killing my soul with these verbs. Hold me down, like I can't gasp for air. I'm closed inside of a box, like I'm inside Fort Knox. Every time that I'm there, I don't know why they think that I'm different from you. All that's true is I'm a like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human. Like you breathe, I breathe, and like you see, I see, and like you need, I need, and like you bleed, I bleed. Don't treat me like an object, I'm tested and proven. Mind, heart, and soul, I'll always be a human.
I am here determined to stop this future atrocity.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe. I suggest we use it.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
And we're back with part 2 of Sergeant's Time. Broadcasting live from the Functional Veterans Center of Excellence this for April 2019. Damn. It's already April. Did you already your little ones already do the the spring breaks?
Yes, they had it early. It was like cold as shit. We didn't do too much, but no beach.
No beach,
no
nothing. Yeah. So yeah, no, little ones are all like mixed, because I got kids, so they're all over the. It's like from the middle of March all the way to just about the end of April. It's spring breaks, but yeah, it's pretty crazy. The ones that don't, you don't have any spring breaks, because then you see school buses in different areas, fucking getting in the way.
Right. Yeah, my little one, she's not so little, but yeah, it was right. It was before St. Patrick's Day even.
Right.
But it's April. That means winter is coming.
Oh my God. That means winter is coming. That means it. Okay. So what were you gonna say? I know this is not Sergeant's Time, but what's so big about April?
April 14th.
What's so big about April 14th?
Game of Thrones is coming back on for the final season.
God. Oh boy.
It's been like 500 some days since the last episode came on. Oh
right.
Okay.
I know. I'm about to say you're like freaking. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Go ahead. Go. No,
it's
okay.
Game of Thrones talk.
No. Get out of your system and shit. I mean, I know.
It's like 10 days in like. Actually, it's exactly 10 days. It'll be on in like 1 minute.
Isn't that? Oh, okay. Exactly 10 is gonna be on for 1 minute. Isn't that when Captain Phasma?
10 days in 1 minute.
Isn't that when Captain Phasma? Yeah, Captain Phasma, and then that Scottish dude. They get to boinking, or they've already boinked.
There's no the big. Oh gosh, I'm not even gonna try to explain Game of Thrones to you. I'm just gonna kidnap you, strap you in a chair.
You're not the only one that said that either. You're not the only one that said. Everyone's like, yeah. You're not the only one that said it, so I'm just like, okay. What is it, Harry Potter with tits, dicks, and dragons or something?
I have a confession.
Isn't that what?
I've never watched Harry Potter.
What? Oh, that's what I'm talking about. I only saw the first two. And all that, and I was kind of like, huh? What the hell is this? It's okay. And then reading the books, and it just got long and stupid. Not like Lord of the Rings, but different like that. But what I'm saying, though, is that... Jim Cannon was going back and forth with about that, calling it nerd stuff and all that. Love you, Jim. Love you, Jim.
I just can't read.
Yeah, so
I will not be available. My phone will be off.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yes, phone's off. Like not even on Do Not Disturb. It will be turned off. I do not want it accidentally coming through. Like not even my emergency contacts will be able to get through. I already told my kid she's going to bed. The dog's going to bed. Everybody, nope.
Right.
Nobody will be bothering me.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So there was already. Yeah. Terry. That's the other individual. So, Spanky and Bailey have already said that is going to be my punishment for not watching, because they get so sick and tired of me fucking up the references on air. And I say something wrong, and it turned out one time I said something and it ended up being a spoiler, and it was true. And the next thing you know, I remember you guys gave me so much crap because of that. I was like, okay. So yeah, that's Terry. Yeah. You hating? There, so there you go. Yeah, everyone's talking about, whatever. Anyways.
Got me flushed.
Yeah, exactly. Flush. Hang on for a sec. What do you want, D-Max?
All right.
What's up, man?
Hey, Spanky.
Hey, D-Max.
What? What's up, man? What? What do you want?
Hey, Spanky.
Hi,
well,
D-Max.
I was going to let you know, since we're talking about Game of Thrones, Arya dies in the second episode.
That was a spoiler that was on Jimmy Kimmel that didn't work. It was an April Fool's joke.
It didn't work?
No.
Oh, God damn it. I was hoping to mess with her.
Yeah.
All right, D-Max, thanks.
Good night.
Hey, at least it's not a flush.
Yeah. You ain't gonna get flushed, brother. I'm just telling you, get
All
out
right,
later.
Good night, D-Max. No, I did see the Jimmy Kimmel one. Matter of fact, I got tagged like 1,700 times. Nah, didn't fall for that one either.
Yeah, that's the one that I sent you that one, and I'm like, yeah, got it, Bailey. Shit, no problem. So Bailey and Spanky, thank you. You got to catch me first, suckers.
I'll tag team you.
Oh,
look, now there's another rumor started.
Yeah, really? You got Soren's
That's
talking.
how shit gets started.
Goddamn Soren's, what y'all doing? Oh man. Anyways, it's all fun. So I was just curious about the Game of Thrones thing because everyone's making a giant. This is like the last episode, the last season, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
it's
so
the
now
last season. There's only gonna be 6 episodes.
6 episodes, because I thought back in the day a season was actual every week, but that doesn't work. There was a show every week, but that doesn't work that way anymore. It's always it's every. They decided to call those seasons now. Gotcha. Okay. All right. So then there's 6. So then after that, there's no more Game of Thrones. So that way you can buy the box set or binge watch it, right?
Right.
All right.
Yes, they're selling a box set now. I'm like, are y'all crazy? Why would you buy that? Just wait till it's all done. Like,
that's what I'm saying. I would wait until the whole thing, like The Sopranos, man.
Yes, I have the Sopranos box set. Like, I bought that when it was completely done because that was like my first, like, I don't know, HBO love. Love that series, and I bought that, and I still have that.
Right, exactly. So, okay, I just want to make sure that we're right on that, and then we're good to go. So that way, because like I said, we'll see what happens. Anyways, so the next story that we're going to talk about on Sarge's Time. The story here is going to piss you off. This story is really going to piss you off, okay? I just want to preface this by saying that U.S. Army WTF Moments and WTF Nation Radio always supports the thin blue line. Always support the blue line. Always support our Leo personnel. But just like in the veteran world, there's also bad Leos too. We got to report this story because what I'm going to read to you guys, what I'm going to come off to you, is an AP story and also from the Washington Post. And this story right here. When I read it, I was kind of like, yeah, maybe. And then I started, doing double sourcing on it. And then our friends at Task and Purpose talked about it too and all that. So, again, it's just one of those things like, holy shit. So I'm going to read, I'm going to give you guys I'm going to set you guys up, tell you what's going on, and then we'll go through this, what the events happened and all that. And here we go. So, that's how the article reads. Our militants in southern Afghanistan had already salted the earth with bombs when Sergeant Dominic Escobar led his Marines through Sangin. In his final patrol, the ground ruptured underneath his feet, an explosion of light and blood. The blast tore his right arm and shattered parts of his right leg and foot. Thank God it was me, he told author Bing West from a hospital bed in 2011, rather than one of my men. Doctors were barely able to salvage Escobar's foot, and he wears a carbon fiber exoskeleton brace to help walk on it and heal with run. And that vulnerable spot is where Escobar said U.S. park rangers gave swift kicks to during an arrest over a parking space for the disabled at the Sequoia National Park in 2012, prompting a lawsuit claiming that assault was an assault and false arrest. And the federal government settled for $250,000 in March in order to avoid a trial scheduled for last week. A charge of failing to follow a lawful order was dropped in 2014. Escobar says, "I'm grateful." And the whole idea of being over during an interview with the Washington Post. Escobar said the alleged assault not only left him in excruciating pain, but also that the blows were so severe that his health problems cascaded to high blood pressure and sleepless nights. His foot is now a total loss, which he attributes to the incident. "I'm getting it amputated now because it didn't stop. He didn't stop." All the descriptions of the incident in this story are according to Escobar's account. He and his family took the trip to Sequoia National Park outside of Fresno, December 2012. When they arrived, he flashed a free handicap park admission pass to the entrance employee who warned that they could not venture all the way through the park without snow chains or enter the park for a quick family photo until traffic cleared up. So Escobar pulled into a parking lot and put his disability placard and left to find a restroom. "You can't park there. That's a handicap spot," the employee yelled out. He said he was disabled. Now, mind you, he provided a placard. "I can see that you're not." Say that again. "I can see that you're not." And threatened to call the police. And he said, "Please do." She spoke into a radio and 2 park rangers arrived. One of them identified as Ranger Perrick. They demanded that Escobar produce a handicapped driver's license when he said that the special license wasn't required. Why? Because his car wasn't adapted, but his placard should be good enough. According to California Penal Code and DMV Code, it is. Perrick threatened to throw Escobar to the ground and said he was under arrest. He contorted his stiff and scarred arm, which had already been operated a few months before the trip, as his wife watched. When then Perrick kicked Escobar's feet to separate, he grimaced in agony, shouting about his war injury when his wife cried out. He could not spread his legs any further, and he was trying to balance himself, only prompting the park ranger to kick him even more. "I told my wife to remove herself and get in the car," he said, "so at least there would be a witness to hold him accountable." When Escobar said that his wife, Perrick stopped to question what he meant. Escobar reeled in pain. "I'm combat wounded, and you're kicking my salvaged limb." Perrick pulled up his jeans so his leg to reveal the brace, and he did so. His partner muttered an expletive, indicating that they had messed up. Perrick stuffed Escobar into a vehicle and issued a citation for failure to follow a lawful order. He was later released. The charge was later dropped. Escobar rained hand grenades on insurgents in Fallujah, braved enemy fire to evacuate 2 wounded Marines and carry out the body of a third. He was awarded the Navy Cross. He didn't feel the right about the award. Butch Wagner said, an attorney for Escobar, and he said something fellow Marines would have done for him. He declined to discuss his time in uniform. It is unclear whether Perrick or any other park staff were disciplined over the incident, and the Sequoia and King Canyons National Park did not respond to a request for comment. The Interior Department named a party in the lawsuit, but declined to comment any further questions to the Justice Department. A spokesman there confirmed that there has been a settlement, but declined to comment any further. Escobar suggested that the Rangers could have been better trained to recognize and accommodate visitors with disabilities. "It is my hope that this will prompt other law enforcement to think twice before repeating the same missteps and causing further misfortune to other soldiers with disabilities." And when they asked, "Hey, well, so what's the status with the settlement? What are you going to do with the money with the settlement?" This is a start, and he says, "I'm going to use this to amputate my foot. Time to chop it off," is what he said.
I don't even know where to begin on this. I mean, it's clear as day he had a placard. It's not even like it's just the license plate. For fuck's sake. I did read other stories that said the lady was saving the spot for someone that was coming to take over her shift. Don't know if that person that was coming to take over her shift also was disabled or something. Okay, fine, whatever. Still, it's like first come, first serve when it comes to, handicap spots. But, like, what in the fuck was this guy thinking? This lady thinking? This cop thinking? He had a fucking placard. Like, I don't know the law in every state, but I do know the placard, like, goes for all 50 of them. I know in Texas, you just have to have the license plate. And I do know that doesn't,
the placard, the hanging tag, is everything is legal. You are not the determinee if that person's disabled or not.
Doesn't matter what they look like.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't look like to me. You don't make the call.
Exactly. And I don't what more training do you need to like a placard? Who doesn't know that? It's like I can pretty much tell you that you don't even need to be an officer to know what a placard means. Like, you get a driver's license and you know the rules of the road, you pretty much know what a handicap placard looks like and what a handicap spot is for.
It's hanging from your mirror. I mean, the guy is like, the person was just like upset. You are not the determining factor as the person that, I mean, if you got the, like I said, in the state, actually, like you just said, in any of the states, you have a plate. You have a plate plus the registered hanging tag that comes with it. That's it. The only place you could get it is at the DMV.
Right, and the placard is, so if you're taking that handicapped person in, like, you know, a vehicle that doesn't have handicap plates, like, you know, you're driving your, you know, handicapped relative with you, like, in your car that doesn't have the plates, and you're driving them with you, so you could put that on there, like you're taking them to the doctor. Like, I don't understand, like, what the confusion would be. Like, just because he doesn't look disabled enough for you? Oh my God, it couldn't have been me. If I'd have been his wife, I'd have been out the car, like, punching the motherfucker, but that'd have been me. You see, we'd have both been arrested that day.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't imagine that. But what would have happened if the guy was more severe in his injuries? See, you don't know that just by an appearance. That person might be going under some rehab that you may not be aware of. You might be going underneath some rehab and stuff like that, and then a cop tells you to get on the ground. You're like, I can't, you know, because hey, let me get my wallet out and I'll show you my veteran card. Let me show you my disability. You know, let me show you something. You know, you don't have it on a driver's license. You're not required to have it on a driver's license.
I've never even seen it on anybody's driver's license. I've never personally seen that. I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, I know what the license plates look like. I know what the handicap placards look like. Obviously, I'm not a law enforcement officer or, you know, the parking fucking police that, you know, yell, you know, or the person that takes the goddamn tickets at, you know, national parks that, you know, yells at people, get out of that spot. Let me call the cops. That's not my job. It's not her fucking job either. Jesus Christ. Her job is to, you know, let people go through the gate. Whoosha.
Exactly. You're there to take You're there to take the $10. Okay, park over here.
Yeah.
And like, remember that he showed her the damn plaque, the little hanging tag thing. You know what
right.
I mean?
And I'm assuming because the way the story reads is because I know, like, if you're a disabled veteran, you can get the yearly passes to get in free to national parks, and it covers most state parks and everything too. And you can go, and they're good for a year at a time at least. And I know you could do it for active duty as well too. And they give, you know, depending on if you go to the bigger parks, they give you this nifty little card. And I'm assuming he had one of those, is what it sounds like reading the story. And it'll tell if it's active duty, the reason why you got the free pass, if it's active duty or if it's a disabled veteran, or, you know, whichever reason why you have it. Because I've seen those too. And that's when, like, when you were reading the story and I'm going over it, it sounds like he had one of those as well.
Right, he did.
Yeah, and
he
so
did.
He's getting into the park, you know, with his pass. Like I said, again, that's something, if y'all don't know, if you're active duty or a disabled veteran, you can get those passes to get in all the national parks and everything for free. So yeah, so it sounds like he had one of those. He had the plate and the placard. And this cop got, like, nothing happened. Oh, get some additional training. Like, he didn't know what a fucking placard looks like. Here's the placard.
There's no, yeah.
That's your additional fucking training. Like I said, and I agree with you. Yeah, we have back with them going, but there's definitely some fucktards out there that doesn't know what a handicap placard looks like.
I'm just blown away about that stuff. How could you sit there and look at that stuff again with other freaking, you know what I mean? With the way the laws are written for to accommodate that stuff. I mean, again, you can already tell if the other individual, the other park ranger, realized that when the guy said, "Hey, I'm a disabled vet," or "I'm combat wounded," and then all of a sudden you see a brace. Did you not feel that on their foot? I mean, did you not feel it when you were pressing on the guy's leg?
I mean, like, err on the side of fucking caution, just like you said before. Like, first of all, like, If that was all it was, write him the motherfucking ticket. Like, okay, write him a ticket. And then, okay, the guy will get the ticket dropped. Like, why did it come to all this? He was going in to use the fucking bathroom because they couldn't drive through the park. Obviously, they probably took a road trip up there. Someone needs to pee before they leave. Like, why did it even escalate this far? Over a fucking parking spot. Like, in what case does parking in a handicapped spot, even if let's just say it's somebody that parked there illegally, like wasn't even handicapped and just parked there illegally without a placard, without the license plate, anything, why wouldn't he have just written him a ticket?
It would have been easy.
Yeah, okay.
That'd have been easy.
Right,
and then you know what? Him going back and forth, I think if he'd have just said, hey, look, here's my tag, look, yeah, or sit there and shoot the shit with him.
Yeah. And yeah, not all wounds are visible just from looking at someone. Obviously, his was covered up by jeans, couldn't see it. I could tell by looking at you, you're not. Yeah, fuck you, lady. Half the DV plates I see here, you can't tell that, the person's disabled just by looking at them. You think I'm going to sit there at the fucking Walmart parking lot and yell at them, get out that spot? For fuck's sake.
Because I don't think you're qualified.
Yeah. Oh, last I checked, I ain't nobody's damn doctor. I bitch on a radio station. That makes me qualified.
Yeah. I bitch at the radio station, I get hate mail. What? I'm not qualified, but if I see the tag hanging off your shit, or I see the placard on you, you're good.
Right.
I'm not going to say anything about it, but you can't really judge them on that. Right,
exactly. Like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I'm gonna hang out at Walmart, watch everybody get out of their vehicles with their DV plates, and hey, you don't look like disabled. Oh, especially if hey, you're a female getting out of that. Is that your husband's car? You're not disabled.
Ooh, so are we gonna go now? Are we? So now this just brought up something else. Okay, so then if a sergeant major spouse parks in a sergeant major spot, does that count?
I don't give a fucking shit. They can park wherever the hell they want. I really don't. But who's to say it's their spouse? What if that's that female sergeant major? She just in civilian clothes.
Damn. Okay. Shit. All right. Fuck, man. God.
No, but that's just it. Because everybody just fucking assumes, and like.
Oh, I know about that. Fuck.
Yeah. Well, no. Again, everybody will just assume, hey, that's not her spot. Why are they parking there?
No, that's a good point. What if that female's a sergeant major? You have no right. Yeah, I was just saying.
Yeah. No, again, just assuming because
Man, you just
who knows? There'll be some lady just Oh, okay. I'll say this was probably wrong, but there was a parking spot at a high school here. And, in kids' high school, and it's named after someone that's, used to be his spot, but he died. And I parked there, had to run into the school real quick. And somebody yelled at me, you're parking in so-and-so spot? I'm like, well, he's dead now. So he's not going to be parking there. So yeah, get me. And this little old lady, she bitched at me too, and I'll be like 5 minutes, and he ain't gonna be here because he died.
What the hell is that? What the hell is that sergeant first class pushing those carts for? What the hell is she doing? Get out of the goddamn spot! You're just a spouse.
Wow. She was big mad though. Fuck. I gotta go get him a kid. Yeah, I know, but again, it's like I know it's a little wrong for that. Not real big wrong because he wasn't going to park there. But again, this motherfucking cop just assumes.
Right.
I'm still just trying to figure out how it just escalated to more than the motherfucking ticket. But again, this is a reason why I'm not mad at him for filing a lawsuit.
I'm just a guy that says, okay, He's parking in the handicap space. The first thing I do is I look at the plate. Okay, it doesn't have the wheels of steel on the plate. Okay, then I walk over to the mirror, and I see the mirror hanging, and there's a little placard that's got the little wheels of steel on it. Got it. He's good to go.
Right. And that's for a cop to do. Not the gate guard. Or me at Walmart.
Right. Yeah. The gate. I was about to say the gate guard's just a gate guard, like you said. She's just there collecting a receipt and a parking chit, so that way she can get a spot. You know what I mean? And she just told him you can't. I want to know that right there. I think that lawsuit should go to the gate guard too.
Oh, I agree. She's at least somewhat responsible.
She is. She was it had it been for her, then she wouldn't have had. You know what I mean? Again, a lot of it's just common sense. Do we just bother taking a good walk than a bad stand? Holy shit! All she had to do was just say, "Hey, yeah, thank you, parking," and that's it. Mind your business. If he's got the goofy tag,
worry about yourself.
Worry about yourself. If he's got the goofy tag on there, he's good to go. Let him fucking park. He showed her the tag.
I'm like, what else was he supposed to do? Like, call his doctor, have them on the line, have him on speed dial. Have his medical records out.
God, man. He's not required to do that either. The tag is
good enough.
I know
he's not.
The tag is good enough. That's what I'm saying. The tag is good enough. The tag that right there means that legal authorized medical documentation was provided to the individual to the issuance of the agency of the placard and of the license plate. So, I mean...
I still just can't believe that, like I said, I'm not one of those sue happy, file lawsuits on everything, but I agree with this one, especially since, the officer, got no sort of reprimand. Like, none.
As far as what?
Well, they said the officer got no reprimand whatsoever from this. That's what I read.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I don't know. But I wonder, what is a park ranger? They fall under they're like a different category. They're like the border patrol or some shit, right? They're like different. I'm serious. What's their classification?
Well, he had the authority to arrest him.
Yeah, that's true. In the park, yeah. Well, it's a national park, but
I don't know. So, I guess if they had the authority to arrest him, somebody has the authority to, reprimand him in some sort of way.
Yeah.
Other than retraining him, here, look at this placard. This is a handicap placard. They are allowed to park there.
I just can't believe that it got to that point. I just can't believe it. It's going back to mind your business. Mind your business. She was the one that called the cop. She was the one that freaking told the cop that he was okay. She was the one that said, yeah, he's okay. She was the one that instigated it.
Right. Like I said, don't know, like I said, it wasn't there, but like I said, another article I read, she was saving the spot for the person that was coming in to take over for her.
So that means that she shouldn't. That means she was not supposed to save that park if it was a handicap spot. So in other words, she was willing to break the law herself to have somebody come and replace her to park there, so that way she could leave, while somebody who was authorized to park there she was gonna to not fucking to rather. That's what it was. It was just lazy at that point.
Right, and what we don't know, again, even reading that, it doesn't state whether the person that was coming to replace her could have had a handicap placard too. It doesn't say that, which is possible, but like I said, it doesn't say that. And, because, they're just collecting, the $10 entrance fee or, however much it costs to get in. So it is quite possible that whoever her, the person that was coming down to replace her could very well legally be able to park there. I don't know. Like I said, never been to this park. Could be just one handicap spot. I really don't know, but so I would just like to give her the benefit of the doubt because, normal people with common sense try to give people the benefit of the doubt and not jump to the worst conclusion possible. But so I would like to hope that was at least it. But again, no reason to call the motherfucking park rangers on this guy. He's still legally allowed to fucking park there. She's still a fucking asshole, though. You don't look like you are. There.
I got you. I got you fucking riled up. I got you riled up.
I tried not to be.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
Gave her the benefit of the doubt for half a second.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. A half a second and then, bitch, you going down. Oh, man. Oh, okay. So, yeah, that's the story of that. Yeah, so guys, check it out. I was watching the Post story. At any rate, so there's another story that's come out, and it's really kind of weird. This story is kind of okay. This story, I didn't even know what happened at all. I don't know what's going on. This story right here has got it's so whacked out to preface the story to begin with, and then the end of the story, you're just, it's sad. And it was a former Indiana soldier who unexpectedly gave birth in combat has died. She was just 27 years old. I guess this was a situation where she unexpectedly had a baby in Afghanistan, and in 2012, Ashley Shelton survived the unthinkable. She was deployed to Afghanistan despite 5 positive pre-deployment pregnancy tests, which I don't even know how the hell she deployed. Did you hear about this?
I did not, and I like I said, when I read this article, I didn't have time to keep going back and look, but for fuck's sakes, this Dr. Coyle, he's on my shit list today too. Let me find this motherfucker. But go on.
No, go ahead. Continue. What were you saying?
No, I was just reading this. It's like, he's identified in the medical records, but, they signed off on her going, saying that they were false positives. Like, how do you get 5 false positive pregnancy tests?
I don't know.
I mean, I've been pregnant. You get some false negatives.
I don't know. I'm not equipped to answer that question.
No,
You're asking me.
I am.
You're...
No, well, yeah, I am.
We're asking...
false negatives. You don't get false positives. Not 5 of them.
I'm about to say,
if you get that many positives, you're fucking pregnant.
God, don't rip my head off. Fuck.
I'm sorry. No,
Holy
I'm ripping
shit.
Dr. Coils off. Let me go find that motherfucker. I'm sorry.
Damn.
All right.
Oh,
I'll let you finish the story. Fuck.
I'm just trying to tell stories, man.
Dude. Yeah, Jake. Another baby with a combat patch.
Right. Okay. I mean, the story is sad, but I'm just going to reel. So 3 months into the deployment, Shelton gave birth to a near full-term baby boy in the latrine in a combat zone. The birth was kept quietly by the Army, was never reported in the mainstream media until Shelton broke her silence. And then at the time, she had no idea how many pregnancies she actually had to come back positive. She said 5. So she obtained new medical records that detailed the pregnancy test. The reports also revealed that the Army's flight doctor signed off on her deployment, claiming that the tests were false positives due to potential exposure to mice at a family farm in Indiana, which I did not know about this.
I didn't know mice could make you have false positive pregnancy tests either. Fuck that.
I'm So after returning to Indiana, Sheldon faced different battles. She was a former soldier found dead in her car on March 30th. She had gone there to meet and swim with her mother and her 6-year-old son Benjamin. Frankfurt police told investigators and the media that Shelton was in the front seat of a car, reclining and unconscious. Clinton County Chief Deputy Coroner Mike Brooks told the media that 13 investigates that there's nothing suspicious and no foul play was involved. The coroner's office is awaiting additional autopsy results. Shelton had openly told the 13 investigates that she struggled with PTSD, depression, and other issues common with soldiers with wartime traumas. But she still wanted answers for her now 8-year-old son and to build a new life. She left the National Guard last year with full disability, and the doctor who sent her into combat, identified in medical records as Dr. Jonathan Richard Coyle, was questioned by medical licensing investigators in Nebraska, where he is licensed to practice. No disciplinary action was taken against him. And in a letter Shelton shared with 13 Investigates, Nebraska officials found no pattern of incompetent or negligent conduct, despite 5 positive pregnancy tests. Now, I'm not a medical professional by any means. I'm not at all a person to sit there and discuss any type of pregnancy stuff, because like I said, I'm not equipped. I've never been pregnant before. I don't know what the thing is with the mice.
I have no idea what the thing is with mice. I just can't imagine as many SRPs everywhere I've been. I have never, ever, ever seen anybody sign off on anybody going any motherfucking where deploy with a positive fucking pregnancy test. To Afghanistan, Iraq, anywhere. Yeah. It's just, that blows my motherfucking mind. Especially 5. I have seen, people come up negative because they are, like 5 minutes pregnant and not far enough along for like the pregnancy test to come up positive yet, because they don't have enough HCG in them yet, because like they literally got pregnant within like a week and then show up positive a month later, after they've already deployed. But never, like I said, I'm not in the medical field, just had a lot of soldiers that would deploy and show up positive a month later. Did not get pregnant in country.
She had 5 positive tests already,
and I can't believe that nobody heard of this until unfortunately she passed away.
Yeah, I never heard of this either. This is unreal.
I can't believe that a baby was born in a latrine in Afghanistan, and none of us have heard of this until now.
Yeah, exactly. WTF, Jose, where the hell are you at, dude?
I know.
You fucking know about this?
Jose must have been like drinking tequila on leave that week.
Oh my God, that is. I can't.
Like how they kept that fucking quiet. I'm speechless on how they kept that fucking quiet.
Yeah.
I literally am speechless on how they kept that quiet.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Like, because no matter what wherever you're at, somebody heard something. Like, having a baby in a latrine is not something that could usually be kept quiet.
Well, I mean, we had a story about the Kuwait story that everybody knew about. Everybody heard about that.
Right. Exactly. I mean, like, and in 2012, it's not like, people didn't have phones or, Wi-Fi and pictures.
How does that not come out?
Email. Exactly. It's not like this happened in like 1992.
Right.
Where, people would have to write a letter.
My dearest. It appeared one of my soldiers has bore a child. I mean, it's fucked up to say. I mean, she passed away. I mean,
no, I know.
It's just a story about how could this have happened?
Like I said, I'm rarely completely speechless.
I am too. I'm kind of like, I was like reading this story. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna talk about this story, and then have some kind of questions about it, and then I don't know what else to say about it, because this is kind of like a. I mean, it's kind of, yeah. So at any rate,
right.
What else is happening? That story is kind of like, again, my biggest question is how does somebody go through SRP, go through their pre-deployment stuff, and go through all that crap, and then
But that's just it. It sounds like she did, and they just decided, oh, no, she's not pregnant, even though we got all these tests saying she is. Fuck it.
And the flight surgeons
There's mice shit in on her.
There's
that's making her pregnant.
It's like, what the hell does this have to do with anything? I've never heard of mice. What the hell? Fucking
I've known lots of people from fucking Nebraska that, that have stayed back, like I said, know a lot of people from there that stayed back and had babies. Nobody said that, oh no, you're not pregnant. Because you live near mice. Like, what the fuck? I would like to talk to that motherfucking doctor.
Yeah, totally.
And Katie's right. That is kind of how it works. It's like, you suspect you're pregnant, you take a home pregnancy test, and then you let them know, and you take one there. If that doesn't come up positive, they usually do a blood test, and your HCG levels are usually, they have a more accurate count. If that one comes out like iffy, they take one about 48 hours later. If your HCG levels are rising, because they rise every day when you're pregnant, then they consider it positive, even if it's not high enough.
Right, that's correct.
And then they'll confirm it with an ultrasound.
Yeah, it's a. It was a. Yeah, she was from the Indian National Guard. She was assigned to work with the 12th Combat Aviation Brigade, a helicopter unit based out of Germany, and her goal was to work as a door gunner. And so she had an unexpected birth. Now, here's the thing. I mean, how does that? I mean, because here's the thing. What she said at the time was that females are supposed to have pregnancy tests done prior to deployment. She said, told the news. Mine showed up positive, one showed up negative, and there was one indecisive. So that when they took my blood, they said they sent it off to London. The blood test was supposed to determine if she was pregnant to deploy or stay home. So she even says, I had no signs of being pregnant, but by the time they got the blood test back, I was already deployed to Afghanistan. Then said that her tests were eventually deemed as false positives, and she had no reason to doubt it. She received the standard medical preparation for deployments, which include taking the malaria pills, anthrax and typhoid vaccinations. Then she deployed. For 3 months, she worked in the combat zone in Shindad, Afghanistan. No physical training restrictive wear were part of the normal shelter routine, but there was no weight gain and no physical signs that she was carrying a child. She said she got sick there, but I blamed it on the food. Then came the morning of August 15, 2012. I kept cramping and cramping and cramping. She went to the aid station to see the doctor and was given fluids and ordered bed rest. She never made it to her tent. Walking back to my tent, my water broke. I've never been in labor. I never know had a kid before, so I literally thought I just urinated on myself. She made it to the restroom with the help of a battle buddy, and she said what happened next was shocking to her and to the Army. I thought I was dying. I could not physically move because I was in dire pain. I will never forget this. They told me to stand up. My son just came out. And I blacked out during the ordeal, and I was, she was hemorrhaging. I could have easily lost my life that day. My son could have lost his life. So not received any prenatal care, not to mention the vaccines and combat conditions she was exposed to. So, dude, the Army kept it quiet until Stars and Stripes came out with something. Stars and Stripes got a tip about her birth after a story about a British soldier that went viral. That's unreal.
It is. I mean, very rarely I've heard other stories about women not knowing they're pregnant up until the moment they give birth. It's not very common, but it has happened. And there are a lot of people that don't gain a lot of weight at all, but it's not very common. Not very common. That has happened.
I'm just blown away. I'm just shocked.
And labor cramps, like when they first start, do you just kind of feel like you got to go to the bathroom real bad when they first start? And I don't know after that because I got drugs and didn't feel nothing after that. So yeah, I'm also not qualified to tell you what they feel like after that.
I'm not of qualifications to know any of that stuff, so I'm apologizing and speaking on behalf of the men that I would only assume. I mean, like I said, I don't know. I mean, don't you feel the little one moving around? You know what I mean? Isn't there something that you feel or something like that?
Yeah,
I mean, you know it.
Like I said, I could definitely feel her doing somersaults and partying in there. I could feel all that. So I definitely. Well, obviously, I knew I was pregnant, but I can't imagine, but I do know, like, a lot of people didn't know they were pregnant up until the time they gave birth. That's happened. She's not the first one, but I definitely knew. I could fucking see her. Like, hey, what are you doing in there? Calm down. Like, I'm trying to do shit here.
Bailey said we sound like Beavis and Butthead. Yeah, pregnant chick. Yeah. Thanks, Billy. Appreciate it. Oh my god. Thanks, Billy, for cheering me up. Oh god.
Like I said, it still just amazes me that they kept this quiet the whole time.
Right.
And I'm definitely going to be keeping a lookout to find out her cause of death, and hopefully, like I said, they don't suspect foul play, and hopefully there was none involved. And
well, I don't know, man. That could be something else. I mean, I don't. Like I said, I don't know. We have to get back to the autopsy's completed, but that's pretty unfortunate. Yep, Jake. So it was Indiana National Guard, but that's just crazy. I couldn't even imagine. I couldn't imagine just how. Again, to me, maybe it's because used to the pregnancy thing, and you know how soldiers act. You've seen pregnant people. You know how pregnant people look like. You've been pregnant, Spanky, so you kind of know.
I was a complete and total bitch after about the 7.5 month, but I was pretty bitchy.
Does it affect your mood that bad? I guess, huh?
And me, I was hot as fuck, and summertime in Texas, and I was getting fat, and I was just miserable the last month or month and a half. But everybody just stayed away from me. But, just leave her alone. Let her be fat in the corner.
Just stay away. Just stay away. Just back off. Just back off.
Right.
Just move around. Exactly.
Oh man, and I'll even say I worked at First Cav Division headquarters then, and at the time, you had to park like 5 fucking miles away because of security. They knew if I had to leave the building for any fucking reason to go to my car when it was 110 fucking degrees outside, I wasn't coming back. I'm like, no, I can't make that hike back to the building. It's like, it was terrible. I'm like, no, I'm gone for the day. I can't make it. I can't make it back to the building. It was so hot. So yeah, but so I don't know. But yeah, other than that, but I definitely looked pregnant after about 7.5 months too. There was no mistaking it.
So you wouldn't be able to put any body armor on, right? You wouldn't be able to go to the range.
Oh
or
no!
Like that. Did you pull?
No.
Did you pull that profile card? Did you ride that profile card? I mean, be honest. Did you?
Like I said, I was fine up until, like I said, at about 7.5 months. Like, I gained 30 pounds during my pregnancy, and like 25 of them was like between 7.5 months and my 9th month. So it all happened right at the end, and I was fine up until then. I was able to run everything up until about 7.5 months, and then it all hit me at the very end. Like, those last 6 weeks I just blew up, and I don't know, then all of a sudden I was pregnant. But up until about the 7.5 months, nobody could tell I was pregnant. I didn't have to wear maternity uniforms, nothing.
Yeah,
so
I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm not gonna speak for. Okay, I'll just have to take your word for it.
Yeah, no, but that's but that's just it. It hits everybody differently, and there were people that had to they slowly got bigger, but it's different for everybody. So, but for me, it was just all at the end, and that's why I was just miserable.
Yeah.
At the end, it was hot, and I got fat at the end, and but
that's a story that we I was a kind of question. I don't know how wise to do that. Well, I have to talk to Doc, to the WTF surgeon's office and ask him what's up with that. See what he says about the mice thing. Doc, if you're listening, you can give us a call, because I know you give us a call once in a while when we have medical stuff happening. Just one of those things to where I can't. I can't see. I just can't really see that as a. I mean, like I said, because you see, like you said, you see. I'm not saying that you're fat. I'm just saying that you can see when somebody's pregnant.
Oh, it's okay now.
No. But you can see. But you can see when someone's pregnant. I mean, you obviously don't say, "Hey, you're pregnant," and then you think I'm fat. No, I just said you're pregnant. Don't like if you move it like a flare. You know what I mean? And then she'll run away or type shit like a T-Rex. And no, I didn't say that at all. What I'm saying though is that you can see when someone is pregnant. Like when someone is pregnant and they're pregnating.
They're growing other humans inside them.
They have the physical attributes of pregnantation, and so they the presentation of the pregnantation is there. So I'm just just picturing how this individual could not tell that, or how can she not see that she not know that she was pregnant? You know what I mean?
Like I said, I cannot imagine someone not knowing after about month 5.
Right. Okay, well.
Yeah, that's me personally. Like I said, everybody's different, but that's me personally. After about month 5, things start moving. Like I said, I don't know. But she didn't. But again, that the positive pregnancy test should have told fucking somebody. So, whatever. I don't understand how they let her go.
Right. I mean, even at that point, if she has so many, positives and positives and positives and all that, then it would be just like a risk. It would be much of a risk to it at all.
It was a very simple, like, okay, if she had that many positive tests, even Katie mentioned it, it's okay, put an ultrasound on real quick. So now you know. There's no false positives with the ultrasound.
Yes. Cause asks, any birth defects? Yes. The kid's now 8 years old and doesn't walk normally. Medical records show that he had a small knot in his lower left leg at birth and was exposed to anthrax and other vaccinations. Doctors warned that the child could suffer congenital birth defects. So he has struggles with walking. He has a lower speech level than normal and appears to have a club foot. And most noticeable disabilities, he doesn't seem, he's just a little kid. He's still a rambunctious little kid. So that's the only thing that's about, that they discussed about the kids. So there are some defects about that. Probably because of the lack of prenatal care plus plus all those vaccinations. I mean, I'll stop right there with the vaccinations because everyone's going to flip the fuck out of me about the anti-vax parents and all this shit. I don't want to fucking go there.
No, not even being anti-vax.
You just proved it. I see birth defects. I'm like, oh no, I'm not going to go down that trail. So we're going to take a break right quick. We got the last half of Sergeant's time. Again, you all know that usually we, when there's no guests, we're just shooting the shit, shooting the breeze. So, stand by and shouts.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Looking up and fading out, Mirror shapes I found blow me away. Van Allen right around, pushing through. Skin is brown. Nature has us trapped in fear, so I get lost in sound. I wonder if you'll ever know why I am the way I am. Constellation theme, mapping stars that are meant to be. Geminis are free of suicidal kings. This misty maze of me, so obvious yet never seen. Feeling though the fog will lift to find me lost at sea. I've been thinking a lot. I've been thinking a lot about time and space surrounding. Is there anyone who is thinking like me? I've been thinking a lot about life that's never ending. Is there anyone who is thinking like me?
Hey, Private Schmedlap, what do you think about this? You have to go to the White House to find out about that.
It's Friday night and I'm feeling low, and you're the reason that I do so. I'll keep on drinking till I comatose, or I pass out on the floor. You got me staring out the windows, 8 hours late and you're a no-show. Where I'm from, that's called a no-go. I guess I should have known. I'm sleeping with one eye open, hoping to make it whole. Oh, you're always on my mind, but right here, right now, I'm better without you. Oh, that's
Facebook Live. I've never heard of this shit.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
And we're back with the last half of Sergeant's time. Man, I don't know, Spanky. I'm thinking about, chilling. What about you? You want to go ahead and just call it a night and say, see you?
It's been a long-ass day.
It has been a long-ass day.
I am here for you.
Well, I appreciate that, but I'm just saying that, it's just one of those. I'm still kind of blown away about that fucking story about the kid.
Everybody, all the stories tonight, he just had the let's rile Spanky up or make her speechless line up tonight.
Yeah, right, exactly. Exactly. But
oh, man, no, all of them. Just make Spanky mad or make her speechless. Was this your goal tonight?
No, it wasn't. We have to have hard-hitting stories to ensure that we have, that out there. So, yeah, that story is kind of crazy. That is a crazy story. I cannot imagine that. Blah. Okay, so anyways, you said you wanted to talk about this Target stuff. What was that? What was that going on now about the shooting? What in qualification? What was that story? The range stuff. We were talking about that earlier. You remember that story?
No, you got me speechless again. Wait, what in the qualification? No, I had the strep thing or the bacteria thing.
You had that one too, but you also had another one. You also had, anyways. Oh, so you wanted to do that one too? We can do that one too. Okay, so go ahead. Go for it. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead and do the strep thing. I'm sorry. Go ahead. My bad. Send it.
All right, because I do remember, main page had shared, about the on Fort Benning when they had the clusters of strep and the staph infections, in basic training. I remember the main page sharing that a few months back. But that was back in February where Fort Benning announced that it was dealing with a small cluster of trainees that come down with strep. Everyone infected had been treated, the statement had said, mostly some infected tonsils. As precaution, all trainees and cadre at the Movers Center of Excellence would be receiving preventative doses of antibiotics.
Of excellence.
Meanwhile, in San Antonio, one of those trainees had just taken his first bites of solid food in 9 days as he recovered from flesh-eating form of strep that had required amputation of half of his leg. PSC Des Del Barba, I don't have the accent, can't roll my R's, sorry.
Barba.
He's still recovering at Brooke Army Medical Center after multiple surgeries. For the first time, representatives from Fort Benning are acknowledging that a soldier was hospitalized as a result of this outbreak, specifically on a ventilator until doctors could tackle the infection that almost killed him. He remained in care until he's fully recovered. His Army career traumatically ended before it even began. At the same time, military families have been making inroads in the effort to overturn the Ferris Doctrine, the law that prevents service members from suing the Defense Department for illness or injury suffered while on active duty, regardless of clear medical malpractice. An investigation will determine whether Fort Benning officials face repercussions for their handling of the outbreak, but the soldier's family is speaking out now. I cannot fight the Army. The Army's too big, a member of his family told the Army Times on March 23rd, requesting an enemy to discuss Delbarba's case. But I want people to know the truth. Delbarba, 21, reported to Infantry 1 Station Unit training in early January. The Stockton, California native had taken a leave of absence during what would have been his last semester at Sonoma State University to complete basic training, then go on to Officer Candidate School and earn a commission in the California National Guard. Today, he's a patient at BAMC at Joint Base San Antonio, Texas, where he's recovering from the, oh my gosh, big words, necrotizing vasculitis that took his leg, as well as extensive skin grafts to replace damaged tissue. The plan is that he'll be fitted for a prosthesis and finish his degree when this is all over, but for now, no one knows when that might be. Our thoughts and concerns are with our soldier who is currently hospitalized and his family during this trying time. Ben Garrett, a Fort Benning spokesman, told the Army Times in an April 2nd statement, though he could not confirm the soldier's identity, citing privacy concerns. Our soldiers are our most important asset, and we will make every effort to ensure they receive the best medical care the U.S. Army provides. Members of Del Barba's family have spoken to local media about the ordeal while keeping a meticulous diary of his recovery on Facebook. They feel the Army dropped the ball on diagnosing and catching Del Barba's illness. They downplayed the number of soldiers affected and swept his case under the rug when Fort Benning went public about the outbreak. One of the medical professionals from Fort Benning came right here, where I'm standing in the hospital, told us to our faces with his 2 senior non-commissioned officers that there were 56. The family member told Army Times. That was the day 2 of Des being in the hospital. 2 months ago, there was little information coming out of Fort Benning. Rumors were flying at the post, home to the Army's infantry and armor initial entry training. Was it hundreds of positive strep cases or just a handful? Did someone actually die? Why am I lining up for antibiotics if I feel fine? Soldiers were wondering. And then there was a trainee who died on January 22nd. Private Christopher Wellington's cause of death is protected by HIPAA. It all started in mid-January when 3 trainees came down with Group A staff, big words that are all medical, and I'm not the medic here and can't say all of those big words. Like, seriously, they came down with strep. According to the National Institutes of Health, a bacteria commonly referred to as Group A strep is a common cause of what is commonly known as strep throat. But it can also cause more life-threatening infections from pneumonia to meningitis and infections of skin and soft tissue. A 4th trainee was diagnosed with a tonsil infection but came back negative for strep. This is a quote, "In effort to ensure the health and readiness of Fort Benning spared no expense in its aggressive response to address the Group A strep concern," Garrett said in a March 29 statement to the Army Times. By the end of February, treatment had been initiated for Fort Benning's entire basic training population of nearly 10,000. The efforts thus far have vastly reduced any concern for the future cases.
Well, see, here's my thing with that. Though. Yeah. Did it seem like, I mean, because this right here is a case of the Ferris Act, right?
Exactly.
I mean, this is why Natalie Quam, the lawyer for Richard State School, at changeferris.com, which, by the way, we're going to get some updates later on, later sometime next week, to give you guys an update on some of that stuff that's going on too. That right there is the whole reason why the change of the Ferris Doctrine is not, is needed. You can't sue the Army is now. I mean, we just had a story about the hijab, but it's a little bit different. It's not medical malpractice we're talking about,
right?
Something that's routine and all that stuff that's supposed to be given to you, that's expected by the Army to be provided to you, and then oh shit, something happened to you, you're done. That's not an excuse for them not to say you're not authorized to have medical malpractice. At least pay something for the family. You know what I mean?
Right. And if you go on into the story, he, started having pain in his leg, and he was, more or less discouraged from going to sick call because, basic training causes some aches and pains. And, he went once or twice and was more or less misdiagnosed, and wound up having his leg amputated and is still at BAMC. And the family is more than pleased with the care he's getting at BAMC, but it should never have gotten that far. So
to the point where it's you kind of think about it, it's to the point to where at that it gets. I mean, dude's getting shit amputated, man. This is serious shit.
Exactly. This is a 21-year-old.
Damn, exactly. You're throwing your phone and shit. You're getting so mad you're throwing your phone.
My phone just got thrown. See, that's how mad I'm getting again. And I'm trying to keep my shit calm and under control.
You're trying to keep your shit cool.
But actually the damn cat. She just pulled it. But so this 21-year-old kid has his leg amputated, which it should never have gotten that far. If like I said, the infection would have gotten noticed earlier. And so now he's minus half a limb, and he's getting the care he needs in BAMC. But
yeah, I just
is not going to be able to do all the the life he had planned. And again, another reason why the Ferris Doctrine
needs to be changed.
Should be overturned.
That right there should be number one reason why it should be over. It should be altered. I mean, there's some things obviously that you get because through the disability factors and stuff like that, you're gonna have a change in what you think about it, change in medical protocols and stuff. When you have, there's a lot of things that you have, the change of medical protocols that you have specific for medical practices. Like, for instance, you have to do pre-deployment stuff, right? You got to do pre-deployment, you got to also the shit, and that's expected that you maintain your whatever, and then you go, you get injured in combat, or you get whatever, or you're disability, you get a medical board and all that, then you're done through the VA and all this sort of shit. But stuff that's supposed to be done routine that's just, they're supposed to catch. Like, you're supposed to be going to, when you go get a checkup and they find something, you're not supposed to. It's not supposed to be like Rich's case, where you just blown off. You know what I mean? You're just fucking yeah. It's just these things happen when not realizing that you got fucking tumors in your lungs.
Right.
So you don't. Go ahead.
Like I said, they know these infections are all going around. This isn't the first time he went, complaining about this leg pain. It's from the swelling and everything, what they're describing in this article, it's not just some normal, like, my knee hurts because, just started running, he's otherwise healthy 21-year-old. It's not like he has a 40-year-old's knees that's been running on it for 20 years and has, the arthritis in it. Like, look at it.
Right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Look, if you look at it, then, fuck. Again, you're not going to... You're not changing my mind. Ferris Doctrine needs to change. Straight up. There is no no. Oh, yes.
I mean, worst case scenario, it'll make them do their jobs.
Right.
Not just give them some Motrin and water.
But that's supposed to be their jobs. You know what I mean? You go to a doctor and you get your diagnosis and stuff like that. You're not supposed to be just written off, and it's not supposed to be a check the block and run through the meat grinder type, assembly line type shit. That's what happens anyways. That's what they do. You got these knobby-head little privates and shit going through this stuff. These little privates are little victors that they're like toddlers in a daycare. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I completely understand that, but and again, like, some of them, number one, this kid's leg got amputated, so stop treating them like a fucking assembly line. Number two, if they get injured, how easy would it be to just fucking fix it then instead of just shipping them off and letting it get worse?
Too easy, huh?
Like, it might,
we're talking
or just put them out then and not let it become an issue that will affect them the rest of their life.
Right. I mean, you got a midboard shit going on. You know what I mean?
Right. Like I said,
damn, Spanky, would you? Are you getting a? No, because I reclassed once, and there were so many people that should have been put out, like, on a failure to adapt, but it came from the TSB's, Sergeant Major's mouth. Our hands are kind of tied on that because Really?
It was during the surge time, yeah, and they literally probably he basically said that their hands were tied and they couldn't put out soldiers on failure to adapt. I'm like, oh yeah, so they're just gonna be our fucking problem. We got to put a pattern of misconduct.
Right,
and,
not to
it'll
mention
be a fucking year.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that a pattern to adapt in while they're deployed. You know what I mean? Let's totally fucking do that. Let's totally put them out there.
Like, it'll take you 5 fucking minutes to put them out on a failure to adapt. But never mind. Now I'm riled again. God damn it, Ice.
Well, I mean, that's a good time to get them to adapt. This is when the bullets are fucking flying. I mean, I'm just saying. Yes, we covered. We covered the Troxel story. We talked about that guy who, the senior enlisted advisor to the Joint Chiefs, Troxel. Or we did talk about that. We talked about it last time. Yes, he's been reinstated after the findings of the IG complaint that was done, and that was it. Too easy. Anyways.
Those work.
Yeah, it's an investigation. See? Investigation work for a sergeant major to be put back in position, and he didn't cry about it and talk to the Army Times about anything.
Didn't file a lawsuit.
He didn't. Oh, damn! I was just skirting the issue. Damn, Spanky, you just went right for it. Damn.
Sorry, sometimes my mouth doesn't have that filter.
You're a swamp.
I didn't say sorry either.
Yeah, you didn't say sorry, not sorry, or some shit like that. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, he's been reinstated, so no big deal. All right, so the next story. This story is kind of funny. It's due to the fact that everyone talks about how individuals need to, soldiers this, and if you're okay. Look, let's put it this way. Long time ago, back in the day. Yes, back when I was private ice back in the day, some states didn't care what the legal age was of you when you were, even you, Private Spanky, didn't care if you were 21 or something like that, and drinking age was a certain age, then it didn't matter. Some states didn't care if you were in the military. Some states didn't give a shit because they figure if you're dying for your country, you're free to drink some suds. Well, it just so happens that the state of Maryland raises the age to buy tobacco to 21, except for soldiers. Except for the troops. So a Maryland General Assembly passed a bill on Wednesday that would raise the legal age to purchase tobacco products to 21. Weapons are coming soon. I'm just saying, this is the rumor. Legislation will go into effect 1 October if approved by the Republican government. Governor Larry Hogan will make Maryland the 9th U.S. state to begin a process of raising the age requirement from 18 to buying tobacco and nicotine products, like vaping. So Terry, how old are you? And the bill designed, well, it wouldn't matter anyways because he's a troop. He's in the Air Force. While the bill is designed to protect teens from damaging effective smoking, the under 21 demographic has been made exempt to the military personnel. You present a military ID, that's it. You get to buy some smokes. That's what I'm talking about. It don't matter if you're 19 or 20. To say to the people in the military, this is what Senator Michael Ho originally proposed the exemption for service members who would present a military ID card. He said specifically, quote, to say that the people in the military, if they're 19 or 20, they can't smoke a cigarette or cigar, to me, that was an affront. I guess that's like political speak for like an atrocity.
Yeah, like here's a tank, no smoking.
Yeah, exactly. Here's your tank. Here's your whatever. So here's the...
You can vote for this bill, or you can vote for me, but you can't smoke.
Right.
Okay.
So actually, there's been somebody from the E4 mafia has there's some comments that have been made to him. I guess the E4 mafia has reached out. I guess there was some sort of concession made. Fucking what the hell? I can't believe I'm hearing this shit. In doing so, Ho perhaps not only became the hero to the tobacco-craving members of the E4 Mafia, especially in Maryland. This is no shit what it says in the article. It says E3 Mafia. In the article, by pitying the hardships of the junior enlisted, long are the days toiling in the hot sun of the mortar poles for weekly vehicle maintenance. Fierce is the pressure to pass any field day inspection with the fate of a vital weekend liberty hanging in the balance, and a strenuous labor of police call for hours in circles around the barracks and an incessant cycle of bending and standing to pick up filthy cigarette butts. I can't believe this is an article. I thought it was double blog at first. For many junior enlisted, these arduous times result in turning to an array of tobacco products, no matter the adverse effect. Well, that's what they were talking about, the vaping. So despite the nicotine affinity shared by service members, Joycean Collins of the American Cancer Association Society told The Sun, the military exemption defeats the bill's true purpose. We believe that the young military recruits deserve the same protections as Maryland citizens. You see that? Protections. See, that's how the government says we're protecting you. Collins said that the American Cancer Society will continue striving to get rid of the exemption. So, for those under 21, smoke them if you got them. I love it. See, now that's a bill that ICE can get behind. If you want to smoke, and you, like you said, Spanky, you drive that tank, you work on that helicopter, you fire them rockets, you're responsible for driving a sub or a ship, planting explosive, operating claymores, clearing houses, jumping out of airplanes, rigging parachutes, medical personnel, except for the ones that fuck up the parasite. then you should be smoking. You're defending freedom. Freedom isn't free. But you should be able to do it. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, for real. Kids these days, they know smoking's bad. They're not starting to smoke like they did, 20 years ago. They're just not. It's not as widespread, because People know it's bad. They vape now. You know this. You see this.
Right. Oh shit. They don't call it the smoking pit anymore. It's like the vape.
Vape pit.
Sorry, Sergeant Major. It's not a vape pit. It's the vape. It's not a smoking pit, Sergeant Major. It's the vaping forum. What the fuck you just say? The vaping forum? What the hell is that?
Right, and just that the same protections, like, oh, for fuck's sake, like, let people make their own choices.
It's a choice thing, right? It's a choice thing.
Right, it is, and but and you're right, and I do remember back, before, like, I was, my first duty station was in Korea. And you did not have to be 21 to drink in Korea when I was there the first time.
Yeah,
you did not.
You went to the you went to the NCO Club in Fort Hood on West back when it was at the one on Robert Gray Army Airfield off the highway. It was the same way.
Oh,
you got to drink it. The Soldiers Dome, they just started enforcing the fucking 21 thing.
Well, by the time I got to Fort Hood as my second duty station, you did have to be 21.
Right.
But when I was in Korea as my first duty station, you only had to be 18 to drink on post, and off post nobody gives shit. But everybody was at least 18 because even if you did join the Army at 17, you did have to be 18 to go overseas. So everybody over there was at least 18.
Right.
So.
No, I remember the kids going overseas and they're thinking they can, hey, just because you can down a 12-pack of Paps, don't think you can drink a fucking 6-pack of Hefeweizen and then walk down the fucking street afterwards and shit, wondering how come Klaus hasn't fucking arrested you, pulling you over for DUI, because the beer purity law in Germany, it's required that it has to be done a specific way and made by depending on the standard of the brewer. So you got kids that show up that've been drinking that that dilly crap. Can we say that? Can we talk about that shit? Can we say dilly crap? I saw dilly.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I saw that because I saw the dragon.
I approve.
That was the best beer commercial ever. Is when the fucking dragon, that dude flamed and destroyed. That was the most awesome fucking. That was the most beer. Not because it's Game of Thrones, but it was the most awesome beer commercial of seeing people getting fucked up. You know what I mean? It was awesome. Because everyone's going, and then all of a sudden that dude shows up and just boot stomps the fuck out of that knight. And then the dragon comes and lights everybody up. That was badass. That should be every beer commercial.
That's the Mountain, by the way.
That's the what?
The Mountain. That's what he's known as. That's his nickname.
Oh, here we go again.
But even, back when I was a little military dependent in England, you only had to be 15 to buy cigarettes on post.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember getting my ration card. I didn't smoke then. My dad was like, nope, you go buy my cartons of cigarettes for me now, because, he smoked more than he was allowed to every month. The day I turned 15, he had my ass in the commissary with him buying cigarettes for him.
Right. It was awesome. It was awesome getting cigarettes in Germany, because you're Germany and people are talking about a pack of smoke is really high. Don't buy a fucking pack of cigarettes in Germany.
Right. Oh, and off post in England, they were too. And like I said, the day I turned 15, my dad brought me to wherever it was. I don't remember. It was like at the ID card place to get my ration card so he could take me to the commissary to buy his too. Like every month, come on, let's go. Go in a commissary. Use my rations up for him too. I'm like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So the dude's name is the Mountain.
Yes.
That's the dude's name. Okay. So he's the dude that fucked up the Bud Light, the dilly night. I call it. Yeah. Yes. I don't even know what the hell that thing dilly. What the dilly. I'm like, what the fuck are you? I don't get into cliches shit much, but holy crap, that was fucking annoying. Dilly. That dude shows up and just, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then I realized I was sucked into the guy. I was tricked into watching and liking something that has to do with Game of Thrones.
I can go on a whole tirade of his real name, his family.
No, everyone talks about There's somebody sent me a meme. Yeah, somebody sent me a meme about him and his old lady, and his old lady's like not even as tall as his chin or his his
in
thigh.
real life.
In real life, she's really small.
Yeah, she's like 5 foot tall.
Yeah. And he's like,
and he's like 7 feet or something. I don't fucking know.
Oh my god! I had to mute my mic. I'm dying. Oh man. Oh shit. Somebody show me a picture. Yeah, got it. I don't need the visual. I don't need the fucking. Oh man, like fucking, like what was it? Like that dude on fucking How I Love to Lock the Bomb. How I Love to Love the Bomb. Doctor Strangelove. Fucking dude riding the fucking nuke all the way down. That's what it's like. Nice. Thanks for the visual. Appreciate it. Oh man. Yeah. God. No, but go back to what I was saying though. The smoking thing. I mean, that should be normal. That should be the exemption. You know, fine. Make everything fucking. And I kind of like. It's kind of funny how the state, when it deems to be, or the government deems that it's not good for you because we're looking for the consideration and we deserve to say, we're thinking about your safety. For something like that, they raise the age to. But then when it comes to something like voting, they want to drop it to like fuck it. Let everything go fucking at 16. Voting? Fuck yeah. Buying a gun? Fuck yeah. Smoking? Fuck yeah. Join the military? Fuck yeah. All of it. All of that shit. Let's go nuts. Fuck it. Let's do it. Or we can just say, hey, how about we just raise the age limit for everything? 21? Fine. 21 to smoke, 21 to drive, 21 to buy a weapon, 21, I don't care.
Not driving, because, I need a ride soon.
You need somebody to drive you around. You need a DD. I'll just do it. I mean, baby eyes DDs for me, and he's only like, he's not even 3, so he's okay.
I'm like,
I'm
thinking, I was just trying to look at the laws, and they're so confusing in Texas, I can't figure it out. Like, some say, like, almost 8, they got to be like 18 to have a full license unless you do this and this and this, and I'm trying to figure it out. She's going to some kind of driving school this summer. I don't know what yet. I don't know how to get her a license. I'm trying to figure it out.
Right.
It's not as easy as it is up north. Like, she'd already have one if she lived up north. Fuck.
What is it in Texas?
Well, that's just it. It's like, I've been reading through all these laws, like, to have a full unrestricted license, it's 18. But she can get like her learner's permit starting this summer. Like, she can go through the classroom part, she'll turn 15 in August. So she can do all of it, all the classroom parts she's got to do through driver's ed. And they have to go through driver's ed in order to get it before they're 18.
But that's in school, though. But it has to go through the school process, though, right?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
That's the way it was when I was growing up.
Yeah, and I didn't have to do any of that. Like my brother, because he was in athletics, he got his license and could drive to school at 14. You can't do that shit here.
Well, I'm not saying that I drove legally. I'm just saying that that's what.
Shit.
Saying that.
I think I'm still riding dirty.
Yeah, I was about to say,
I'm sure I got something unpaid.
I was like, yeah, I never had to worry about that shit. But no, but you're right. It's a system that's set up in the school that you would go through driver's ed for like a class, and then you get your learner's permit that way you can drive to school, but you can't drive at night. And you can't drive on major.
Yeah, and she can't have anybody else in the car with her unless they're an adult. And I'm like reading all these rules. I'm like, fuck, it wasn't this complicated when I was young. Like, well, maybe it was, and I just didn't know. It wasn't like obeying the law. Right. I don't know. But.
Yeah, it just I think it's kind of it's good that the way I see it, that if you join the military, you're old enough to join the military, and you're willing to sacrifice your life for that. It's kind of one of those, it's nothing to bet bro about, but it's just kind of like a common sense thing that you're authorizing somebody to kill or provide in the installation, maintenance, and of the employment of these machines of death, or conduct death yourself. Then yeah, why not? Exempt them all. I don't care. I mean, I would. Shit. But at any rate, shit, what else we got going on? Fuck, we were going to talk about, so real quick, the Army is going to change its qualification tables now. So what's going to happen is that the Army, if you guys busted a note out, you guys can see on the Facebook page for WTF Nation Radio, there was a post that we posted about the Army getting rid of their Alt-C qualification. For you guys that don't know what Alt-C means, Alt-C is I don't even know what the fuck anybody even knows about Alt-C. I think it's like another fucking table or something like that. I don't even know. That should be a good board question. I'm going to write that down for the next fucking troops going to the board. Sarnes, just do that. What
All right.
what does Alt C
We'll,
mean?
we'll start having a board on Sarn's time.
No, Tom. I'm just telling.
I'm messing with you.
I'm just telling the NCOs out there that are listening to WTF Nation Radio and following them on U.S. Army WTF Moments is to use that as what does that mean? What does that mean about Alt C? Now, for you guys who don't know what Alt C is, for those of you who don't obla on the range, there's types of qualifications that they have for a soldier to have just normal qualification, and it's 40 out of 40 and all that. And that's the pop-up one. And there are different targets varying in ranges that you're engaging while you are fighting. While you're shooting up pew on the range, right? So they're going to. What they developed was a paper target range that was metered out to about 250 meters. So that way, they were making some sort of science that if you were to shoot the size, different diameters of it to simulate 150 meters, 200 meters, and 300 meters, then that was good enough. And that also caused a little bit of because the Army's now talking about lethality. We got a new buzzword now. It's like
lethality of excellence.
Yeah, some excellence and shits. We got some excellence. And so what happened is that now, instead of doing it was just a paper target. You walk 250 meters up, you set up a target on a fucking range, and then you went pew pew, and then you shot, and then you walked up, and then you had to count how many holes were in the black, and then you looked at it, and if you didn't have it, then you were laughed at or something like that, or you didn't freaking you didn't count for the score. So you fucking just like that was it. Well, there was also individuals that would use if you guys, I'm going to tell you we're getting to some old NCO secrets now, is that the Skillcraft pen, the U.S. government Skillcraft pen was the same caliber hole as
right
as the round that you shot from 5.56 millimeter NATO. And there has been some times where I know by watching somebody on a range hitting the dirt, not near the target, must have ricocheted, short. And all of a sudden they walk up to check their numbers, and they're like, "Good to go, 40 out of 40." And then you walk up to their target, and it's just like, "Whoa, shit! These fucking holes are just like good." So the Army's talking about, screw this. We're going to improve marksmanship, and we'll eliminate a shortcut that units use for individual weapons qualification. Now. So what they're saying is that it's eroding lethality. It's eroding the lethality due to the fact that it just doesn't do it. You're just going up there, laying down, and shooting. That's it. They want to now develop they are waiting a final approval of the new marksmanship manual that will prepare the Army for a new and more challenging qualification test. So this forces soldiers to make faster decisions while firing from new positions, which will drastically update the current one. Cold War. See, I don't like the way they say that. Cold War. The course required soldiers to engage a series of pop-up targets that ranges out to 300 meters. So the stricter qualification standards will also do away with the practice of using the Alt-C, or the alternate course of fire. That was the board question. That's why I said alternate course of fire means Alt-C. So write that down, Sarns, for your gotcha on a Soldier of the Month or NCO of the Month board. Alt-C stands for alternate course of fire. So it was obviously one of those things that we had to do every range. Depending what unit you're at, depending what installation you're at, or what type of organization you're at, you just went to the range. It didn't matter. But for some units, they could only go to the range once a year and turn it into a freaking field exercise, like I've been in units like before. It's unreal. So the marksmanship program director at Fort Benning, the infantry school, Sergeant First Class John Rowland, said that the stricter qualifications will also be approved for the new, as you could say, it's almost like, oh my God, it almost sounds like it's like the new PT test. Isn't that the Army's changing a bunch of shit? They're changing like the new PT test? Qualification.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, what was that noise? You okay? All right, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, your phone is fucking...
Yeah.
Tell your cat to stop fucking with the phone, man. Anyways, so, again, the Alt-C is the Army's approved 25-meter course which soldiers shoot targets at, scaled down to represent actual targets, like I said before. And it's an improved qualification that now is being abused based on the lack of training management and proper planning. is now coming to the cost of, it's costing lethality. This lethality thing, man, this word is like a new buzzword. And it's going to be very impactful for units because they're used not being very proactive and not being able to fall back on, we'll just do Alt-C, and that's no longer going to be the case. So the Army training officials at Fort Benning have spent the last 2 years validating a new strategy for training and a course of fire for the new marksmanship qualification. So Melody Venable, a training and doctrine officer for the infantry school, has stated, quote, that we have visited various units across the Army and we've tested and validated as needed. Soldiers who have shot the new course are doing well at it, is what she says. They appreciate the training and the training strategy provides, and they enjoy the course of fire because it's more realistic. So I guess the targets are shooting back at them. So I don't know. Kind of curious to see what kind of ranges. I mean, we need to have CIMNT come back on, the Center for Initial Military Training, to come on here and talk about it. So there's still 40 out of 40 rounds, so it's still 40 targets, still 40 bullets, the same targets that people have been shooting for years, but it's just a new course from adding a standing position to engage target 2 occasions during the additional course to the kneeling and the prone positions. The course requires soldiers to change magazines on their own and seek cover on their own while they're engaging multiple targets at the same time. That sounds like a live fire range. For you guys that have done this stuff, that sounds exactly what it is. It's a live fire round, live fire lane. I think it's pretty cool.
No, I agree, it is. But the whole purpose of, them having the Alt-C ranges were exactly that. It was hard to get your soldiers in range. This is all well and good, but we need to go to the range more than twice a year. We need to go to the range more than twice a year.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll say it one more time. We need to go to the range more than twice a year.
You're right, because some units make it a fucking field exercise. They call it like range density or some shit like that, where they all go out and take their weapons to go fire. And it becomes a big field event, and then that totally takes away from what the training event is for weapons. In other words, the focus is more on deploying out to that event as opposed to actually training for what you're going there for. Which really sucked because you couldn't. I mean, you do convoy briefs, you have some convoys, blah 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 blah, and then you gotta make sure someone's picking the ammo, and then where you're gonna stay. And the last thing that's on your freaking mind is where the range is at.
Right. And you're absolutely right. And I've done it like that. It's like we're out there for like 4 days and I have spent 5 minutes firing my weapon. Like literally been out, done it like that in units, and we go out there for 4 days and I have literally fired my weapon for 5 minutes, qualified and done. The rest of it has been doing everything else, planning for it, doing the convoy, setting everything up. I'm running the range most of the time. So in 6 months, I have fired my weapon for about 5 minutes worth of time.
Correct. Now here's the thing. Now here's the thing. Now check this out. They said they're doing this so that way they can get rid of Alt-C and they could use that to whatever. But now they're saying that the Alt-C can still be used to extend their annual qualification rating by 6 months if a deployment or a high op tempo prevents them from going to a range.
Well, and it's not even just that. It's like, so how far are you from the nearest, even now we're a range with pop-up targets.
Right. And
if you're not near a military installation, that's the reason why you have Alt-C. It's so you can at least get out and fire your weapon and qualify.
Right. And what's funny is that in other words, it extends the soldier's current qualification. So in other words, you go to this new range, and then you go fire this new range, and then you get marksman, or you get sharpshooter. Just do that. You get sharpshooter, and then you go, oh, I'm gonna go fucking go ahead and go do the Alt-C because we're doing whatever the extension is. Using Alt-C extends the soldier's current rating of marksman, sharpshooter, or expert, but cannot change it. Meaning it ain't gonna fucking it's not changing shit. So if you're a marksman and you conduct a validation event with Alt-C, then you get a perfect score. You're still a marksman. You're not an expert. It's like,
well, in all seriousness, this only really matters for soldiers that need promotion points.
Right.
That's where it matters.
And that's what I'm saying. That those promotion points that we have for soldiers, that's a lot of it. It's what gets them. It's the promo points for what awards. Ribbons, qualification, and all that. And now, with the new PT test coming up, oh, dude, so this is going to be cool.
Right.
Oh,
we didn't even get into that, did we?
No, we did not. Nope, we did not.
I mean, they don't even have a lockdown scoring system yet, so I guess it doesn't matter yet.
No, that's what I'm saying. The 33 divide's got to change again. Love it. Oh boy! All right, so yeah, so that was the last tidbit of what in qualification. Real quick, God, okay. So today, I'm just running down the list. I'm just looking at the cut sheet that I got. 10 days until Game of Thrones. That's what I just got told. Are we doing a Game of Thrones countdown or some shit? Is that what you're saying? Is that why? It's always like the first thing on the script that I got to read.
Well, you know, somebody writes cut sheets. Somebody cares.
That's what I fucking figured. Yeah, there's no bias here. We're supposed to be neutral on this shit, but gotcha. So real quick, obviously this is Sergeant's time. You guys know it's me and Spanky, and obviously we didn't have a guest this week, so tomorrow's a Friday Night Freedom. That's not going to happen because it's on hold, and then Tinfoil Times is on leave of absence right now. But this Sunday we have Mark Addison from Mark Addison Music. He's an Army veteran and will be on the show to talk about his Army career and how it led him to pursue a career in country music. He retired from the Army in 2015 and moved to Nashville, where he now pursues his music full-time and is an artist-songwriter. He regularly plays in Nashville and his home state of North Carolina. Yeah, he's also that night, I guess, is the Country Music Awards, too. So, isn't it around that time or something like that? I'm guessing. Wasn't it the same time that Charlie Daniels came on the same time last year? His one of his band. So... I can't remember.
You got my dates mixed up.
No, I know. I'm just trying to think about that stuff too because I remember when we were like, "Hey, we're gonna go hang out," and blah blah blah. I'm like, "We are? Okay."
Yes, I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, exactly. Just look it up.
I am.
Anyways, yeah. We're not the alt-C shit. So then on Monday, we're going to have Christopher Martini. He'll be on to talk about his first feature film, Trooper, which will be about a returning Iraq war veteran. Chris Renaissance Man Award at the 2011 Garden State Film Festival and has gathered the musical support of Bruce Springsteen and Bob Dylan. It was pretty cool. This film has received glowing reviews in the Huffington Post. Award-winning journalist, veteran issues, Joshua Kors. Trooper was picked up for distribution and available from iTunes, Xbox, and Amazon, Sony PlayStation, and VOD across America. So this is going to be awesome. And then, of course, for you guys that listen, and of course, following the adventures of evidence-based medicine, and Sergeant's Time next Thursday is going to be Major Andrew Fisher. Major Andrew Fisher is going to come on to talk about the Stop the Bleed and educate the importance of stopping the bleeding in trauma. And he'll be also talking about some of the advances that he's been a part of with combat trauma medicine. Joined the Army in 1992 as an infantryman. Successfully completed RIP, the Ranger Indoctrination Program, and was subsequently assigned to the 1st Battalion. 75th Ranger Regiment in 93. While assigned to 1st Battalion, he completed his EMT course and discovered his desire to work in the medical field. In 2015, he was accepted in Texas A&M College of Medicine. He was currently third-year medical student and serving as a physician assistant in the Texas Army National Guard. So he is all about the National Bleed campaign and talking about he is a voting member of the Committee of Tactical Combat Casualty Care. TCCC is what Doc Dredd came on here and talked about when we were discussing the best medic competition. So he's going to be on there. It's going to be kind of cool. If you guys got any medical questions, anything that has to do with combat trauma, anything that has to do with buddy aid, first aid, whatever age you want to fucking call it these days, don't crack on the guys that are fucking assisting or helping out. Just aid is fucking aid. Send us a note. Contact at WTFNationRadio.com. Drop a note in the fucking Facebook. Hit me up at ice at WTFNationRadio.com if you want to ask a question about St. Fisher's fucking arrival. Ask whatever you want. I have no idea what the medical stuff I'm going to ask. I'm just going to, and he can explain it. So I'm going to ask the question, hey, what is this, blah, 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 and I'll let him explain it all. And, of course, Richard Jellison from Storyteller Original Films. He is the principal creator. Richard Jellison will be on to talk about the Pan American Fight 001 after growing up in Southern California. Rich served 2 tours in Vietnam, a helicopter pilot. First tour was in combat with the 116th Assault Helicopter Company. In his second tour, he served as General Abrams' personal pilot. So 4-star General Abrams replaced General Westmoreland as the military commander of all forces in Vietnam. He received a master's degree in business in Cal State University in Los Angeles in 1975 and did a year of law school before gravitating towards addressing a compelling thirst to be creative. So, is this the Jim Morris again throwing more of his Vietnam stuff, his Vietnam buddies? You notice that he's been doing it.
I'll have to hit up our executives.
No,
we're getting a lot of them.
No, you're getting a lot of them. Yeah, no, I love
them.
I love the Vietnam vets, man. And anytime the Vietnam vets can come on, it's awesome. And then of course, we're gonna have Pete Barlow. Pete Barlow is coming with a comment, The Adventures of G.I. Lowe. You might have seen him hanging out with Private Murphy on an occasion.
Indeed, I have.
And so if you follow Private Murphy, which is a weekly installment on the main page and the share, which every Monday I'll throw a tag on there for Mark. Show's doing pretty good, by the way, with Charlie Mike Comics. But he's with his humble beginnings and basic training issued notebook, The Adventures of G.I. Lowe chronicles the day-to-day highs and lows of a modern American soldier from recruiting station in the suburbs of Chicago to the cubicle in Afghanistan. This comic strip demonstrates that wherever you are, whatever, it's important to keep a sense of humor. G.I. Lowe was born in Michigan and is a Libra and likes to imagine himself as a superhero instead of just doing his job in the Army. I can't wait to see this. I can't wait to get some of the comics. He's a long guest waiting to be booked. And I can't wait to have him come on. I think it's going to be awesome. And I think that's it. Anything else you want to say? You got some freaking...
No, I finally calmed down once you went through all of our upcoming guests, so I'm so excited to hear them all.
Oh.
so excited for them to come on. That made me smile. Finally, took you till the last end of the show to make me smile tonight. You got me all frustrated and mad. Now I'm smiling. 10 days till Game of Thrones.
No. Yeah, 10 days till Game of Thrones.
Coming up.
Yeah, I know.
10 days till Game of Thrones.
Yeah, exactly. Well, hey guys, real quick, I just want to say good night and think. Oh, Bailey. Well, hey, have a safe flight. And then you got some questions for this fishy fellow. Wait a minute. Yeah, you can throw some questions at it. Go for it. Yeah, like I said, ice at WTFNationRadio.com, or hit the inbox on the Facebook's page, or contact at WTFNationRadio.com. Because like I said, this Major Fisher's been causing a lot of I wouldn't say causing, but he's just been throwing the knowledge out, and there's some individuals that don't want to be believers. So that's just the way it is. If you guys follow St. Fisher's Church of Evidence-Based Medicine is his Facebook page, or it has a Facebook page dedicated to him. So if you check that out. Anyways, y'all have a good night, and thank you so much for joining. And with that, I'm out. And oh fuck, I forgot to say it. I forgot to do a plug. Wait, what was the thing I was supposed to say? Because Flash said I needed to do this, and I kept fucking it up. We are on, because you know how he goes, we are on Mixer, Facebook, YouTube.
Periscope on Twitter.
We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook Live on U.S. Army WTF Moments, shared from the WTF Nation Radio Facebook page. We're what was it? What was the other one? If you can dial in TuneIn app. We're in the TuneIn app as well. You can go to iTunes or Google Play and download any of our podcasts. You can go to WTFNationRadio.com. Click the little right play button right there to get the current show that's going on. If you guys paid attention to that page, you guys notice there's a daily rewind on there. So any of the shows that you've missed, you might catch a show on there anyways that's been thrown up on there. And then, or you can go to ArmyWTFMoments.com and hit the WTF Nation Radio tab and hit the play button there. Or you can jump on your Xbox or use the Mixer app and check it. Do it from there. What else? Did we get it all? Share, like, and follow.
Flash would be so proud.
I know, dude. See? Flash, yes. I have to. Yeah, because I'm acting PAO today. I'm acting PAO. I'm acting public affairs guy. Flash has got to do some stuff, because none of you guys... Flash is buying a house. He was talking about...
Flash doing Flash things, and I am so proud, and I'm going to tell
awesome.
Flash that you did a great job.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, because I'm not a PAO. I'm not a PAO guy. I'm just
putting you in for a snack raise.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. All right, that's what I'm talking about. All right, well, guys, thank you so much for listening, and we appreciate your patronage and showing up to formation on Sergeant's Time, broadcasting live from the Functional Veterans Center of Excellence this for April 2019. Let's listen to Space Force Shots.
take upon their shoulders. It's a daunting task, relentless fear to meet conquest of the last frontier. Now here we are enlisted for the glory of our nation. To say that we're the best would be an under-exaggeration. Prepared for combat with an alien race to kick their asses right in the face. Space Force, Space Force, we'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. They say that they've discovered life up there on Mars, so let's blow it all to hell and then claim it for ours. We'll paint the moon red, white, and blue for no other reason than we wanted to. Oh, Jupiter, imagine what you could become. A stupid, pointless planet turned into a giant gun. And Russia, so sorry, have to burst your bubble. Be a good sport now, sit back, relax, and watch us through the hubble as we celebrate the greatness of the United Planets of America. Space Force, Space Force, we'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. Now we'll go to infinity and beyond, beyond. You'll hear our manly voices singing Space Force strong. Though critics say sound doesn't travel in space, to which we reply sound will do as we say. Oh, Captain Kirk, your achievements, though notable and fine, as far as we're concerned, this is Deep Space Mine. And big fans, but Lord Vader, step away from the lightsaber. There can only be one, of course. Space Force. Ra-da-da-da-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum-dum-dum-dum, ra-da-da-da-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da, ra-da-da-da-da-da-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum-dum. Space Force, Space Force, we'll saddle up our intergalactic horse and we'll ride into the sun, yes, into the sun, where we'll take the day by planting a flag right there at its source. Space Force. Space
Good evening, boys and girls. This is Tim Kennedy. I'm a Special Forces sniper, a Ranger-qualified Green Beret, a UFC fighter. Please listen to us and the shenanigans that we're going to say. We will insult you. There will be racial slurs. We will be sexist. We will offend you. But there will be magic, and a unicorn will be raped. So enjoy the show. Thank you for listening on WTF Nation Radio.